participation. We love seeing your artwork and your...
And hello and welcome from Bryce Hurst Field here at Dixie State College in a heavyweight matchup in the fourth round of the Utah High School State Tournament in this 4A. And it is a region game matchup as the Lehigh Pioneers will be facing off against our Spanish Fork Dons here. And Elliot Sharp's here with Andrew LaRose. Andrew, what do you expect to see in today's game?
Well, seeing as these teams played against each other earlier in region and Spanish Fork won 2-0 in that particular series, it's going to be, I feel like this is going to be one that the Dons have a really good chance in. They faced this very pitcher and they rocked him, so I think the Dons have a great opportunity to put up a W here and keep going.
And a first pitch is ripped out to right field, and it is caught out there by the right fielder Braxton Holland for the first out of the game here as Tay Newman quickly lines out to right.
And Newman definitely rocked that pitch, but it was right at the right fielder.
And the batter at the plate now for the Dons is the shortstop, Andrew Pintar. And a leadoff strike to Pintar from the senior Pioneers pitcher, Casey Anderson.
Anderson, a pretty good pitcher for the Pioneers. We'll see what he's got in store for them today.
And a pitch low brings the count even at 1-1. Like you mentioned a moment ago, in both matchups this year, the Dons were dominant over the Pioneers, so definitely a favorable matchup for them here in this elimination game here in the state tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one that the Dons, you would think, would win, obviously, because they dominated their region, and Lehigh being part of that region. So we'll see what happens here. See if they can put up some early runs here on Anderson.
And a pitch low and in the dirt brings the count to 3-1 now. The last time the Dons saw Anderson, they won the game 10-0 in run rule over in 5 innings.
And you know the Dons would love to have that same result in this one.
And a fastball down the middle brings the count even at 3-2.
See what Pintar's able to do here with this full count. He definitely could use the leadoff runner here in the top of the first, kind of get this Dons offense rolling.
And that pitch is driven out to right field. And again, the right fielder, Braxton Holland, with a nice play out there. And that's a quick 1-2 here for the Dons in the top of the first.
And you know that's great for Anderson. Obviously with that last game against Spanish Fork where he struggled pretty hard, definitely a good thing for him to get those 2 quick early outs. And once again, you know, though, both of those were well struck. Those are definitely well hit balls. And so the Dons have just got to be hoping that some of these balls that they're crushing are going to find some gaps and find some holes in the defense.
And a ball low in the dirt to Josh Cowden, the senior catcher who had 2 home runs in the earlier game today against the Skyview Bobcats.
Boy, they were absolutely gorgeous shots. Love to see another one in this game.
And a hard ground ball to the right side past the diving Ray Santa Cruz, and that will be a base hit for Josh Cowden right where he left off from last game.
When it rains, it pours, and it is certainly pouring for Josh Cowden right now. Great piece of hitting, shoots it right between the gap. Shoots between third and shortstop, ranges towards it, but isn't able to get to it. So nice 2-out single there for Cowden.
We'd like to take a moment to announce the starting lineup for the Dons today. As you saw, Newman, Pintar, and Cowden, 1, 2, 3. We now have Cy Nielsen at the plate. He will be followed by the Dillon brothers, Dylan Lee and Dylan Hall. Then we will have the DH, Josh Dart, and followed by a couple seniors, Carson Chappell and Riley Hess, to round out the lineup today.
Just a solid Dons lineup. I love them 1 through 9, all solid hitters.
And a swing and a miss on the fastball to Cy Nielsen. Yeah, same lineup that they had earlier today. Only difference is Cy Nielsen will be playing out in right field in this game. Noah Conway will not be out there in right. And Ty Sorenson will be on the mound for the Dons in the bottom of the first inning. And another strike to Cy will bring the count to 0-2 now, as Casey Anderson is able to get ahead early.
Cy's got to be careful here with this 0-2 count. Now he's got to protect. He needs to try to find a way to just get something that he can put out into play. Make sure he doesn't strike out. Spoil this potential opportunity.
And a pitch well up on the fastball as Anderson tries to get him to chase, and Cy was having none of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart move there by Anderson trying to get Cy to chase. He has been doing that a little bit lately, looking to swing at those high ones, but good discipline there to keep the bat on the shoulders and not chase that really good-looking high pitch.
And that pitch clips Cy on the leg, it looks like, or maybe the elbow. But either way, he is hit by the pitch, and the Dons are now in business with first and second here and 2 outs in the top of the first.
There it is. You get on base in any way you can. Hey, and if that means that you're taking one off the elbow or off the quad, hey, you know what? You're on base. That's what matters. And he worked a great count, worked it full, making Anderson work for that particular out that he ended up not getting. So runners on first and second here with Dylan Lee up.
Dylan Lee, the senior first baseman for this Dons team, and definitely a big bat up in this situation, as ball one is up and away to Dylan Lee now. I'd like to take a moment to run you through the Lehigh defense from left to right. In the outfield, Dylan Coe is playing left, Hunter Herrera in center, and Braxton Holland, who we've seen a couple times out there in right. At third base is Gentry Cox. Ray Santa Cruz at short, who just missed that diving play. Tyson Eager at second, and Hayden Jacobson over at first, as that pitch is ball 2, just outside to Dylan Lee. And as we mentioned a moment ago, behind the backstop, Braxton Maroth and Casey Anderson on the mound.
Yep. There was a battery that didn't work terribly well the last time that they faced the Dons. Maroth had a big time struggling with a lot of pitches in the dirt that Anderson was throwing at him.
And ball 3 to Lee, as Casey Anderson is in danger of loading the bases here with 2 outs. And that pitch is just outside, and that is ball 4, as it will load the bases. And what once seemed like it could be a quick, easy inning has turned into a stressful one here for Casey Anderson.
It's turned into a crazy one, that's for sure, Elliot. Like, Dylan Lee did a great job. Didn't swing at anything crazy. He certainly could have swung at that last pitch, but he was taken all the way. Gets those 4 straight balls, and yeah, now it is a potentially dangerous inning here for Casey Anderson.
And a strike to the second baseman, Dylan Hall, to start off the count.
Dylan Hall's had a pretty good playoff thus far. Certainly would love to continue to improve that here in this at-bat.
And that ball is just outside. Yeah, Hall, one of the key players back in that Tooele win last Saturday. The Dillon brothers really put on a show along with Andrew Pintar, and it was one of the keys that helped them survive and get to this morning where they're able to knock off the Falcons 11-0. And a pitch up and in to Dylan Hall, bringing the count to 2-1 now.
I'm liking the patience that I'm seeing so far from the Dons hitters. They're working to good, favorable hitters counts here against Anderson. Basically just waiting for him to pitch something that they want to get a hold of. Let's see if they can get one here.
And that pitch is fouled off right over towards us, but over our heads. And
whoo! That'll make your heart skip a beat right there. Whew. That was a line shot. Good amount of distance above our heads, but still. Whew.
And the 2-2 now to Dylan Hall. And he waits back on the breaking ball and fouls it off to the right side. Really solid approach by many of the Dons hitters today. Even their 2 outs, the line drives to right field by Newman and Pintar, were both very well struck and just happened to go right at Holland out there in right, and a little bit of an unlucky break as a hitter. And that pitch is hit over to second base, and a nice clean play over there by the second baseman, Tyson Eager, and that will end the inning as the Lehigh Pioneers get out of a jam there in the top of the first.
Yeah, it was important. That's an important one there for Casey Anderson. Like, to be able to get out of that bases loaded jam here in the first, be able to put up a nice goose egg in the top of the first against the Dons, that's got to build some confidence for him.
And in the top of the first, that is 0 runs for the Dons on 2 hits and a hit by pitch. 3 runners left on base. And as we head now to the bottom of the first, we will see Ty Sorenson take the mound as he tries to set the tone for the Dons here in this one. And before we begin talking about him, however, we would like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, Sporting Goods for all seasons, and 2 Jack's Pizza. Well, the Pioneers were able to dodge a bullet in the top of the first, but now they will have to deal with the senior right-hander, Ty Sorenson, who has been a thorn in many teams' sides over the year. What do you expect to see from Ty today, Andrew?
I expect another great outing. He was phenomenal in the outing that he had against Tooele. He really was the one that kind of stabilized the Dons and really got them back into this playoff after the pretty unfortunate and pretty good loss that they had against Pineview. He was able to kind of calm everybody down and really kind of set the tone for this playoff. So I expect a similar performance, just lots of strikes, and make these Pioneer hitters hit off of him. Really don't, hopefully on his end, just don't walk too many people, just kind of find his groove and really just do his thing, do his game.
Yeah, on the year, Ty, in 11 appearances, has a 2.73 ERA, a 6-4 record, and he has been heavily used, the most used pitcher on this Don staff, with 43 2/3 innings, allowing 35 hits, 29 runs, and 17 earns to go along with 54 strikeouts and only 19 walks.
Yeah, you almost could say, obviously they pitched Cy Nielsen earlier, and a lot of people would consider Cy to be the ace, but I consider Ty to be just as much of an ace. It's more like, 1 and 1A in that respect. Sorenson is just as good as Nielsen is.
And the first pitch from Nielsen to the leadoff hitter for the Pioneers, Hayden Jacobson, is just outside for ball 1. And rip foul down the right field line to even the count at 1-1. The lineup for the Pioneers today will have Hayden Jacobson leading off, Braxton Holland, the right fielder, hitting second, Hunter Herrera batting third, and that ball will be blooped out to right field and will drop for a base hit off the bat of Jacobson to start off the bottom of the first. To continue with the lineup, Ray Santa Cruz, the shortstop, will be cleaning up. Casey Anderson, the pitcher, batting 5th. McKay Wall, the DH, batting 6th. Gentry Cox, Tyson Eager, and Dylan Coe rounding out the bottom third of the lineup for the Pioneers today.
Yeah, it's a dangerous Pioneers lineup. You can't just take it for granted. They do have a couple of spots where you kind of hope to get some outs, but they do have some hitters in this particular lineup.
And that is a bunt, and there's only one throw over to first as nobody was covering second. A nice play there by Tay Newman, throwing it over to Dylan Lee at first base for the first out of the inning, but a successful bunt from Holland there.
Yep, and just like in our previous game that we had, there was a clear strategy that the Dons had in the first game, and it looks like the Pioneers have picked up that same strategy. Runs are going to be at an absolute premium in this game, and so anytime you can get the runner to advance from first to second, that's what you're going to do. So I think you're going to see a lot of sacrifice bunts in this one.
And waited on and fouled back on the breaking ball to the junior center fielder Hunter Herrera. Herrera, one of the premier hitters on this Pioneers roster. There's a reason he's hitting in that 3-hole. We'll get to his stats in a minute here. And fouled off to the right side, bringing the count to 0-2.
Yeah, Herrera is a .409 hitter, so this is definitely a guy that is a big part of the Pioneers lineup.
And a swing and a miss for strike 3, and that is the first strikeout today for Ty Sorenson, and the second out of the inning here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, I expect to see a lot of that in this game. I expect Sorenson to rack up a decent amount of strikeouts just like Nielsen did earlier in game 1 today. I definitely expect Sorenson to be mowing down a couple Pioneers in this one.
Yeah, not quite the same strikeout pitcher that
not quite
Cy Nielsen is, but definitely, like you said, a 1A version of an ace here in this one. Ball just outside to the senior shortstop, Ray Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz is the most powerful hitter on this team, as he has the only home run on the season for the Lehigh Pioneers. Fouled off down the left field line, bringing the count to 0-2. And again, Sorenson doing a good job of working ahead in the count.
Yeah, doing a fantastic job. He's definitely able to establish himself early on in these counts, which is exactly what you need. You don't want to get behind these hitters and be forced to, throw something down the middle where they can really kind of handle it. So the key is to just stay in front, and then you have that whole arsenal of pitches at your disposal.
And a strike there brings the count to 1-2 now. On Santa Cruz, a strike away from getting out of this inning with the runner Hayden Jacobson stranded on second after that leadoff base hit.
And this would be a great out here for Sorenson. Obviously, they didn't get a run here in the first of the Dons, and so they would love to put up a zero of their own.
And a look back there from Sorenson as Jacobson heads back to second without a throw. Trying to keep him close there, but no real threat. And a nice block there by Cowden to keep it in front as the count moves to 2-2.
Yeah, I can't emphasize that enough with how deep the backstop is here at the field here over at Dixie State. Like, you, as a catcher, you've got to be on your A game, and Cowden is certainly one of the best here in the state. So certainly a luxury to have for the Dons.
And that pitch is low and in the dirt, bringing the count full.
Yeah, with this full count here and 2 outs, we'll see what Sorenson has dialed up. Maybe he pulls the string, or maybe he just goes ahead and goes for the heater.
And fouled back as Santa Cruz does a good job of staying alive there on the full count.
Yeah, it was not an easy pitch. That was certainly a good pitcher's pitch there by Sorenson, but Santa Cruz does a good job to spoil it.
Santa Cruz, a .429 hitter, the highest batting average on this Pioneers team. And he swings and he hits it out to left center, and that will get the job done. That will be an RBI single for Santa Cruz, and the Pioneers strike first here in the bottom of the first inning. The 9th RBI of the season for Santa Cruz, also leading this Pioneers team.
Santa Cruz has done a nice job over the season, and that was a perfect example of what he's been able to do all season long. Just able to find a nice pitch there on that full count. Sorenson, unfortunately, not able to sneak that one past him, and he rips that one out in the outfield, and that's going to be the first run of the ball game.
And the batter at the plate now will be the senior pitcher, Casey Anderson. Anderson able to get out of that bases loaded 2-out jams in the top of the first, and now will look to help his cause here in the bottom half as he fouls that one off to the right side.
That's another one right over our heads. That one a lot higher, but man, it seems to be the ball seems to be gravitating over here. It's quite interesting.
And fouled straight back to bring the count to 0-2 on Anderson. Anderson only a 125 hitter. Not a great hitter, definitely more used for his pitching on this team.
Yeah, definitely known for his pitching, that is for sure. And he's now in this 0-2 count early here to Sorenson, so he's going to have to choke up a little bit, do everything he can to protect the plate here.
And that pitch is a ground ball over to the second baseman, Hall. He's able to flip it over to Pintar at short. And Pintar with a nice play to haul that in and end the inning. And after one here at Bruce Hurst Ballpark in Dixie State College, it is 1-0 Lehigh here on SF-17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. We are down here in St. George over at Dixie State College. We have this game currently is the Spanish Fork Dons up against the Lehigh Pioneers. We are now in the top of the second inning. The Dons put up 0 runs in the first, but Lehigh was able to score on the RBI single by Ray Santa Cruz, and so the score is currently 1-0 in favor of the Lehigh Pioneers, and that now brings Casey Anderson back up onto the mound for the Pioneers.
And the DH Josh Dart stepping into the plate. Coming into today's game, the Dons looking for their 20th win of the year, coming in at 19-9, having won 2 in a row. Lehigh comes in at 14-14, also having won 2 in a row, but the key thing is the Dons won both head-to-head matchups against the Pioneers this year, including a 10-0 win against the pitcher Casey Anderson just a few weeks ago.
As Dart rips that one right past the first baseman, that is going to be a leadoff single for the designated hitter, Josh Dart, and that is going to get things started here in the top of the second for the Spanish Fork Dons.
Yeah, last inning, the first 2 batters, Newman and Pintar, both hit the ball hard to the right fielder. And Holland out there in right was able to make 2 nice catches, but so they weren't able to get off to a great start last inning, and that kind of derailed their rally later on, but a much better start here in the top of the second.
Absolutely. Get the leadoff runner on, and now you've got the number 8 hitter, Carson Chappell, the left fielder, up for the Dons as he's now digging in here against Casey Anderson. See, he waves at that one way out in front. That is going to be strike 1.
Yeah, dropped a breaking ball in there on him that was really slow, and Chappell swinging for the fences there was about a second in front of that one.
Yeah, he was absolutely fooled on that one. Chappell is a .338 hitter on the season, so certainly one that is capable of doing some damage here. As that is going to be in there, and Chappell has got himself into a 0-2 count here.
Chappell had a nice game earlier today in the Dons win with a double, a single, and a walk.
Certainly was productive, and that double was absolutely crushed. As he goes to take that one upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, not all doubles are created equal, and that double he hit in today's game earlier today, or sorry, obviously earlier today.
Earlier today, yep.
Bounced off the top of the wall.
Yeah, and there was just a sad look on his face in that one, and unfortunately he goes down on strikes on that one, as that is going to be the first strikeout of the game for Casey Anderson.
Center fielder, number 10, Riley Hess.
That's going to bring up Riley Hess, the number 9 hitter for the Dons.
Hess also doubled back in the second inning last game, part of that big 4-run inning that helped break that game open in a 1-for-3 effort against the Falcons.
Absolutely. Hess is
Bobcats,
phenomenal. He's an absolutely phenomenal number 9 hitter. Be able to have this guy be the guy that turns over your lineup, it's a definite luxury for the Dons as he swings through that one for strike 1. He foul tips that one. Gets a little bit of a stinger, hits him, but looks like he's going to be okay. And that's going to be an 0-2 count there for Riley Hess. Hess is a .309 hitter on the season. He's got 23 hits. He scored 17 hits and 15 runs. So certainly a good run producer there at bottom large. As that squirts away from Maroth, and that is going to get Josh Dart rumbling on over to second base.
And again, the issue that plagued the Pioneers last game, the catcher Braxton Maroth unable to hold on to the ball, and 3 or 4 runs came in to score last game because of the catcher not being able to catch the ball and moving the runners over on wild pitches and scoring on wild pitches as well.
Yeah, and especially in this particular ball field, that backstop is deep, so it could be potential trouble in this game. That one is going to be taken upstairs. That'll even the count up to 2-2 as we've got an out here in the top of the second inning. We've got Josh Dart over at second base and Riley Hess at the plate facing Casey Anderson. That was also going to be upstairs, and that's going to once again get past Maroth, and Dart is going to just mosey on over to third base on yet another pass ball.
And I probably sound like a broken record, but that's an easy catch right there. Right off his glove, fastball, right up by his head, a little bit up, but a player that as a catcher, you know that you have to make that catch. And now a ground ball or a fly ball will bring in that run and tie up this game.
Absolutely. Those two pass balls have moved Dart from first all the way over to third, making life a lot easier for the Dons. Here comes the pitch. And Hess is able to muscle that one over, and that is going to be fair. That is definitely going to score Josh Dart, and Hess is moving and grooving on over to second base, and that is going to be a double, and it is back out in the outfield, and Hess is not just going to third, he's going to home on this one, as the overthrow is going to get him safe, and that is going to now be 2-0 Dons on the great hit there by Riley Hess, and taking advantage of some miscues there by the Pioneers.
Yeah, wow, what a play right there. So much to talk about. First off, a little fister that lands just inside the line, rolls over to the right side. A definite not a stand double, but a definite double off the bat, but an awful throw out there and allows him to come all the way home. Poor baseball by the Pioneers here in the early going.
That is just unfortunate, as that one is grooved in there for strike one to Tay Newman.
Hess with the double and the error by the right fielder on that play, allowing Hess to come in and score.
That one is going to be low for ball one to Newman, as that evens the count. Newman lined out, had a really good piece of the ball there on his out, but he lined it out to right field in his first at bat. As he swings through that one, the count now goes to 1-2. Newman is definitely one of the best table setters in the league. Does a good job of getting on base for those big bats in the Dons lineup. As he rips that one, and the second baseman times it, lays out and makes a beautiful catch. What an absolute just spectacular play there by the second baseman, as Newman is out on that one.
Yeah, Tyson Eager with an absolute gem of a play there. Hashtag SC Top 10 right there.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. After struggling on defense in a couple of these plays, that was some highlight defense.
And there are 2 outs now here in the top of the second.
That's going to bring up Andrew Pintar. And Pintar is going to look at that one, and that is going to be strike one. Pintar is a .402 hitter on the season, 33 hits, 19 runs. Definitely a big part of this Dons lineup as he takes that one for ball one.
Pintar flight out to right his first time up back in the first inning.
He's going to take that one low and outside, and that is going to be now a 2-1 count.
Earlier today, 1 for 3, also had a sac bunt, but a big RBI triple in the gap.
Gets a piece of that one and sends it on over towards the Pioneers dugout, and that is now going to be a 2-2 count to the junior shortstop. So we got 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. The Dons have scratched across 2 runs on the double there by Hess. Is now that pitch is high to Pintar, and he's worked himself into a full count here.
Yeah, nice pace and approach by Pintar here as he looks to get on base and keep this inning alive here with 2 outs.
And that is going to be low, and Pintar is going to be on base with the free pass, and potentially could be the start of a 2-out rally here.
Yeah, last inning the Dons had a nice 2-out rally. Cowden singled, Nielsen got hit by a pitch, and then Dylan Lee walked before Hall grounded out to the second baseman, Eager to end a potential big inning, but they've been able to get a couple back here off the bat of Riley Hess.
Yeah, when you're getting that kind of production out of your 9-hitter, you know that it's going to potentially be a good game. And so here's Josh Cowden digging in here, the number 3 hitter for the Dons, looking for another opportunity to get on base and make something happen, as that one is going to be low for ball one.
Yeah, Cowden having quite a day, singling back in the first, 2 home runs back in the earlier game today in a 11-1 win over the Skyview Bobcats.
Yeah, the senior catcher definitely showing off his prowess at the plate, as he's going to take some time here to collect his thoughts. Pitcher's taking a little bit longer than he wanted, so he's going to go ahead and dig back in there.
Cowden a .365 hitter on the year.
And he rips that one out into the left center gap, and that is going to be trouble as that one rolls all the way over to the wall. Cowden is safely in at second, and that is going to score Andrew Pintar. And the score is now 3-1 in favor of the Dons after that beautiful piece of hitting there by Cowden, the RBI double.
Yeah, great little two-out rally here by the Dons. Looked like they weren't going to be able to get any more this inning after putting up two and having no on with 2 outs. But Pintar with the patient approach, working the walk, and Cowden with the RBI double out into left center, and the Dons add to their lead here.
And Cowden is just seeing the ball super well today. 2 hits in this one, the multi-homer game in the previous game today. He's just crushing it out there. As now we've got Cy Nielsen at the plate, and he's going to take that one for strike 1. Nielsen got hit by a pitch in his first at bat, and that was as far as he went, was just first base. He's got Cowden over there at second base. And he's going to take that changeup there for strike 2. Comes that 0-2. And he rips that one, and is going to be over at the shortstop. Ray Santa Cruz then throws it on over and makes a nice play, and that is going to be the end of the top of the second inning. But the Dons score 3 runs in that inning, 2 off of Riley Hess's double, and then another one off of a double by Josh Cowden. So they're able to get themselves in the lead in this one as we head on over to the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, 3 runs on 3 hits. A big error by the right fielder out there helped Hess come around and score, but a really great job by the Dons to kind of respond after giving up a run to kind of reassert control in this game.
Absolutely. We'd like to take this moment to thank our wonderful sponsors, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, State Farm Lance Wilson, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and 2 Jacks Pizza.
And as we head now to the bottom of the second inning, Ty Sorenson will go out there for his second inning of work.
And we'll see what Sorenson has up his sleeve here. He did allow 2 hits and allowed a run in the bottom half of the first. He did get a strikeout, though, so he's not looking too bad out there, Elliot.
Yeah, Lehi did a good job of timely hitting, moving the runner over there with a nice sac bunt, and then driving in the base hit, realizing runs are going to be hard to score off Ty Sorenson today, but this Dons lineup is good, and they're going to be hard to keep pace with, so Lehi is going to have to get going with the bats.
So any kind of offense that they can generate against Sorenson, they're going to absolutely need it. They're going to absolutely need it because this Dons offense has been clicking ever since the start of that Tooele game. They have just been raking in the hits, raking in the runs, and so Lehi's just going to have to do their best to do what they can here against Sorenson, as it is McKay Wall that's digging in here, the DH. And he rips that one out into center field, and that is going to be a leadoff single. Oh, it does squirt away a little bit there from Hess, but he's able to get it on in there. And as I said, that is going to be a leadoff hit there for McKay Wall.
Yeah, bottom part of the lineup up here for the Lehigh Pioneers with Wall, Cox, Eager, and Co. The 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up, but the designated hitter, McKay Wall, wasting no time, jumping on that fastball and driving it out to right center for the first pitch of the inning.
Yeah, when you like that first pitch, you might as well swing at it. And you're not necessarily going to get many opportunities off Sorenson, so he just went ahead and went for it. So that now brings up Gentry Cox, the third baseman for the Pioneers. He squares away for the bunt and does not do it successfully. And they also throw on over to make sure that McKay Wall stays close there, and that is going to be a 0-1 count here to Gentry Cox. Be interesting to see if they have Cox go for the bunt again, as they once again are keeping Wall close by there at first base. Another pickoff move. Sorenson looking in. Here comes that 0-1 pitch. And he once again does square away for the bunt. He gets a piece of it, but it is going to be foul. As Cox is now in an 0-2 hole here. This 0-2 count, we'll see what Sorenson ends up doing here. He obviously has all of his pitches at his disposal with this 0-2 count. Maybe get him to chase something. Another pickoff move. Cox digs back in there. Here comes that 0-2 pitch. And he's going to bunt it and is going to go over the backstop, and that is going to be strikeout number 2 for Ty Sorenson as Gentry Cox goes down on strikes off of going for the bunt.
Yeah, really interesting, and I feel like a poor decision right there by Gentry Cox trying to lay down the 0-2 pitch and backfired on him, and that's the first out of the inning here now.
Yeah, they know that it's going to be hard to get runners in scoring position against Sorenson, but once you get to 2 strikes, you kind of got to think that you'd maybe take the bunt off there. That is going to be another foul ball, and that is going to be strike 1 to Tyson Eager, the second baseman for the Lehigh Pioneers.
Eager was the 2-hitter in this lineup for much of the season, and a couple weeks ago when the Pioneers came and played the Dons, he did hit in the number 2 hole, but these last couple weeks he has struggled quite a bit at the plate, causing him to fall in the lineup all the way to the 8 hole for these Pioneers.
And there's another pickoff move there. Really wanted to make sure that McKay Wall is just staying right there at first base. Sorenson delivers now on the 0-1 count. And that is going to be just a little bit off there, and that is going to even the count to 1-1.
McKay Wall on first here. Tyson Eager at the plate.
And that one is going to be in there for strike 2, as now Eager is behind in the count 1-2. And Sorenson is definitely in command here, as he's got had the 0-2 count on Cox and now the 1-2 count here on Eager. And Eager's going to look at that one and is going to even the count up at 2-2.
Sorenson doing a nice job of mixing up his pitches here. Breaking ball outside there. I would expect him to come back with a fastball here and try to overpower him.
That is exactly what he does. And Eager goes down on strikes, and that is going to be the 3rd strikeout of the game and 2nd consecutive one here for Ty Sorenson.
Yeah, he did exactly what I expected there. Brought him the fastball on the 2-2 pitch and really overpowered the 8-hitter, and that will bring up one of the what you would expect weaker hitters in the lineup hitting in the 9 hole, but he was the most successful hitter against the Dons the last time around.
Yeah, and that's going to be Dylan Coe. He was successful, and that is going to be a 1-0 count now to him.
Yeah, last game, Cy Nielsen was pitching when they played at Swenson Ballpark in Spanish Fork, as that is strike 1 to even the count at 1-1.
Beautiful pitch.
And Cy Nielsen pitched a complete game 5-inning masterpiece where he only allowed 3 hits, but 2 of those hits were to this man at the plate right here, Dylan Coe.
There's another pickoff move there, just really making sure that Wall is just sticking right there. It looks like they're going to switch out balls here. But it is interesting that the number 9 hitter is the one that had the most success in their last game against Cy Nielsen. Just kind of an interesting twist on things. You would have thought it would have been the top of the order that maybe would have more luck, but sure enough, it was this guy right here at the plate, Dylan Coe, that had the most luck there. And he's going to rip that one out into center field. But Hess is going to be right there, and that is going to be out number 3 as Ty Sorenson once again works a nice inning here, this time getting the goose egg, getting that nice lockdown inning after the Dons scored 3 in the top. They were able to hold the Pioneers to 0 runs, and so the score is now 3-1, the Spanish Fork Dons over the Lehigh Pioneers, as we are heading on over to the 3rd inning. Thank you so much for being with us here on Spanish Fork 17.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jack's Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jack's Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
And welcome back to the 3rd inning here at Bryce Hurst Field, as it is 3-1 Dons. And it's been a good start for the Dons, scoring 3 runs in the top of the second to counter the 1 run for the Lehigh Pioneers in the bottom of the first. And the 2 Dylans will be starting this inning off as Dylan Lee and Dylan Hall will each get turns at the plate.
Yeah, Dylan Hall and Dylan Lee are both having phenomenal playoffs thus far. They were key to our win over against Chihuahua, and they certainly have kept that going. Dylan getting a walk and the other Dylan grounding out to second base, but certainly an opportunity here with the 5, 6, and 7 hitters.
As that ball is up and away for strike 1 to Dylan Lee. As you mentioned a moment ago, a 4-pitch walk earlier today, a ball here, so 5 pitches that Lee has seen so far today and yet to see a pitch that he likes, and he finally sees one there and gives a healthy cut at it. Definitely swinging for the fences, it seemed like, on that one.
He got eager. He got really eager, and that's hard when you see so many balls. You finally see one that's like, oh man, that could be a good one. You just want to hack at it.
And another swing and a miss at a pitch a little outside to bring the count to 1-2.
And Dylan Lee's a .347 hitter on the season. He's got 25 hits. Definitely a good part of this lineup, and hey, he's had a homer recently here too, so a little bit of pop.
And he drives that one deep out to right, and that will get, oh, the nice play out there by the right fielder. And Braxton Holland with another nice play out and right as Dylan Lee gave that one a ride.
Absolutely, man. I thought that one was going over his head. I thought that Dylan Lee made some good connection on that one, but somehow the right fielder there, Braxton Holland, able to track that one down, makes a nice play on it, and that's going to be out number 1.
The other Dylan now at the plate, Dylan Hall. Lee still yet to get a hit today. 0 for 4 now with the walk.
That's unfortunate.
As ball 1 outside to Dylan Hall. Hall grounded out to second base in his first at bat today, and was also 0 for 3 in the first game today. So the Dylans struggling a little bit at the plate. You would expect that to turn around quickly.
Oh, you definitely got to expect that. They're both great hitters, definitely capable of being better than that. .314 hitter on the season for Dylan Hall, 22 hits, 11 runs. He's also a run producer as well. You know, definitely drives in a couple runs too. So.
And he hits that ball hard up the middle, and that is a base hit, and the Dylans are on the board today.
There it is. There it is.
A 1-out single off the bat of Dylan Hall, and that will bring up the sophomore designated hitter, Josh Dart, who started off the rally back in the top of the second with that leadoff single, stealing second base, moving over to third on a wild pitch, and then coming around to score on a bloop single by Riley Hess.
And what a crazy sequence that was.
And that hits him right on the elbow, and the Dons are in business here with runners on first and second and only 1 out.
And Pioneers once again getting themselves in trouble here. That hit by pitch there by Dart there's now 2 runners on base. Dylan Hall over there at second, and now Carson Chappell up. Man, once again, just not the best situation here for Casey Anderson.
The second hit batter today by Casey Anderson. He hit Cy Nielsen back in the first inning, and now Josh Dart here in the third.
A little wild.
And a swing and a miss to Carson Chappell.
Was that a healthy cut? Man, every time I see Carson swing, it almost looks like he's just going for the fence every single time.
And another healthy cut as he swings a little bit ahead of that one to bring the count to 0-2 now on Chappell. Chappell, a strikeout victim back in the second inning today.
Yeah, and that's why he's just feels like he's just a little too eager. Maybe needs to choke up a little bit and protect the plate here on this 0-2 count.
And he does not, and strings through it for strike 3, his second strikeout today, and the second out of the inning here in the top of the third.
Once again, a victim of that high fastball. It just looks so good as it's coming out of the pitcher's hand, but as it keeps creeping in on you, you just swing right through it because it's going to be too high. So, unfortunate at bat there for Carson Chappell.
And Riley Hess, the senior center fielder, steps to the plate, who's had the most eventful at bat at the plate today. And again, a 2-out potential bunt attempt last game against Skyview. He had a 2-out bunt attempt where he pulled it back, and it really kind of seemed surprising that he was potentially thinking about doing that. Maybe it's a take and he's scoring around a bunt, but a leadoff ball to Hess as he takes ball 2 there now to work the count to 2-0.
Yeah, you got to wonder if that's just a strategy thing. It's just kind of putting the bunt in the mind of the defense, putting the bunt in the mind of the pitcher, and also it just kind of, muddies up the plate a little bit. But now in that nice favorable 2-0 count.
Yeah, 3-0 now to Hess. You also wonder if he's trying to bring the third baseman, Gentry Cox, in a little bit, as he can then rip one by him a little bit easier as he's swinging away.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely makes it so you can kind of bloop it over him. He bloops one over to first. Why not try to maybe bloop one over to third?
And a pitch outside. Oh, it just catches the corner. Never mind a late strike call by the ump, Don Barker, today.
Yeah, he's kind of known for that. I heard a couple fans saying, why can't he just call it right away?
And again, a late strike call, as that will bring the count full now. Nice job by Anderson working back into this count after falling behind 3-0.
Absolutely, with the dangerous Riley Hess up, obviously. Guy that scored 2 runs off of you. He's done a good job of staying in there.
And that pitch is nowhere close after doing a good job of working his way back into the account. Totally wastes his effort, and now the bases are loaded as the leadoff hitter, Tay Newman, steps to the plate. And Tay is hungry after 2 hard-hit balls, a line drive out to the center fielder, Braxton Holland, who made a nice play, as well as a line drive over to the second baseman, Tyson Eager, who made arguably the best defensive play of this game.
Oh, it was an absolute gem diving over to his left side and gloving that one. He did a great job, but that Newman is definitely capable of kind of breaking this one open. The leadoff hitter is got his now opportunity to be able to bring in some RBIs here. That as leadoff hitter, you're the one supposed to be scoring runs, but now it's his turn to bring them in.
And he hits one out to center field, and the center fielder camps under it. Hunter Herrera makes the play, and again the Dons lead. The bases loaded. The second time today they've left the bases loaded without scoring a run, and as we head now to the bottom of the third, the score will remain 3-1. The Dons lead here at Bryce Hurst Field, and we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and 2 Jacks Pizza.
Golly, man, Newman definitely rocked that particular one. He's really been right there on all of his at-bats. Really well hit balls, but they've just been right towards fielders, and some fielders, as we mentioned, made some really amazing plays on it. So kind of a frustrating game here so far for Tay Newman.
Yeah, 1 hit in the inning, a hit by pitch and a walk as well, but no runs come across for the Dons. And as we head now to the bottom of the third, we'd like to take a moment to break down how we got here to this point in the tournament. Both teams losing their opening game last Saturday, with the Dons falling 11-1 to Pineview, and Orem winning their first game against Snow Canyon 6-4. Then Orem, however, lost their second game to Juan Diego 10-2, but Orem bounced back, winning a thriller today 4-3 over the Orem Tigers in 9 innings. So you wonder if the Tigers are if the Pioneers are a little bit tired right now after having to suffer through a 9-inning affair earlier today.
Golly, I know I would be.
And a swing and a miss to the leadoff hitter, Hayden Jacobson. The Dons losing that first game to Pineview 11-1, but bouncing back nicely Saturday afternoon with a 12-2 win over Tooele, and a win this morning over a fellow 1 seed in this tournament, the Skyview Bobcats, 11-0.
Yeah, great win there for the Dons, being able to take down a pretty amazing opponent there in Skyview. Not one that I would have expected to be in the losers bracket.
And that ball is ripped out to right field, and that will drop for a base hit. Cy Nielsen fields it and throws it in, but that is a leadoff base hit for Hayden Jacobson, his second single today. And the other hitter on the team who's fared well against the Dons this year, as we mentioned, 3 hits last game, 2 of them off the bat of Dylan Coe. The other one was a single off the bat of Hayden Jacobson. And again today, Jacobson with 2 singles now. So Coe and Jacobson seem to have these Dons pitchers figured out.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like many of the others have them figured out. But, man, a great game here so far for Jacobson, as you mentioned, with those 2 singles, definitely setting the table and doing his job as the leadoff guy.
And that ball is ripped out to center field as Riley Hess ranges back, and he barely gets back to that ball. That ball was really carrying off the bat of Braxton Holland, but a nice play out there by Hess for the first out of the inning here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, a bit of a scary moment there. I thought that might potentially go over Hess, as he was really backpedaling to get to that one. It really did, as you said. It kind of kept carrying on him, and so he kind of had to backtrack a bit, but was able to make the play and got the nice catch out there in center field.
That ball drops and a run easily could score, and that could have been a triple. So a dangerous moment averted for the Dons as a leadoff strike to Hunter Herrera, the 3-hitter in this Pioneers lineup. Herrera, the junior center fielder, struck out in his first plate appearance back in the bottom of the 1st. And he fouls that one back to bring the count to 0-2 now.
Ugh, what an ugly swing there. He really got jammed on that one, just barely able to get a piece of that, and really didn't even get any kind of follow through on his swing, as he's now again in another not favorable count here with this 0-2 count, just like he was in his previous at bat.
And a throw over, keeping Jacobson close. This is the 3rd consecutive inning that Lehigh has gotten their leadoff base runner on. Jacobson setting the table for the Pioneers in the 1st and 3rd innings, and McKay Wall with the single back in the 2nd inning to lead off that one. And fouled back, keeps the count at 0-2 on Herrera.
Yeah, Sorenson doing a great job of attacking Herrera here, as he's really done a good job getting a strikeout on that first one, and then even in this one, he's really just dominating right now, doing his best to just give him some pitches that maybe aren't that great, and though Herrera's doing a good job of spoiling them.
And Herrera again fouls that one back to stay alive. Twice now he's managed to foul off an 0-2 pitch, and Herrera, a .412 hitter on the year, proving why as he continues to battle.
We'll see what Sorenson has up his sleeve here. He's been throwing a lot of high heat at him, so maybe he pulls the string here on this one instead.
And that pitch is low and in the dirt, and a great pitch to steal on for Jacobson, as he is able to get down to second base safely here with only 1 out.
He definitely got a nice jump on that one, and because it was a ball in the dirt, Count did make a good play to make sure that it stayed in front of him, but certainly was going to be safe at second with it being a ball in the dirt. Pretty easy stolen base there.
And a ground ball over to the shortstop, Pintar, and that will get through for a base hit, as Jacobson will move over to 3rd. Hunter Herrera will be on 1st, and there are runners on the corner here with 1 out.
Yeah, just a good piece of hitting. Pintar did range over there and did make a dive at it, but it was just one of those seeing eye singles, as you will, and found its way out there in the left field. Chappell did a good job of getting that ball in to make sure that Jacobson wasn't going to score on that one, so that's why we got those runners on the corners now.
And a short meeting on the mound by the infield, trying to calm down Sorenson a little bit here and help him get out of this 1-out jam.
Yeah, talk it over, get your defense aligned properly. You do have the potential to get out of this inning with the double play, and but you also want to make sure that they know that if there isn't a double play in order, that you want to make sure that runner over at 3rd does stay as well. So definitely got to talk things over.
And a first pitch strike to the senior shortstop, Ray Santa Cruz, who singled back in the top of the 1st, driving in Jacobson.
Yeah, this is their guy. Santa Cruz is their big RBI guy, and so this is certainly the guy that they want to have up in this particular situation.
And a ground ball that will bounce over Tay Newman's head for a base hit, and everyone will advance. That will drive in another run with Santa Cruz with his 2nd RBI today, as Jacobson comes around to score and Herrera moves over to 2nd.
Santa Cruz doing his job as the cleanup hitter. He's now got 2 RBIs on the game on 2 singles, so certainly a good, efficient game for Santa Cruz, as that one does just bounce over Newman's head. Nice ball placement there by Santa Cruz as they cut into the lead here.
And with 1 out still here in the bottom of the 3rd, the Dons lead is now cut to 3-2. Casey Anderson, the senior pitcher, at the plate now. And Anderson hits a ground ball over to Pintar, who flips it to Hall, over to first for the double play. And a big pick-me-up for Ty Sorenson, as that will end the inning. And just a brilliant defensive play over there.
Oh, absolutely. What a phenomenal play to be able to get the flip over there and then just quickly sends it on over to first, just barely getting him there. Just a great all-around play there by the defense, and really gets him out of a big jam there.
And as we head to the fourth now, the Dons lead 3-2 here on SF-17.
Wild Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17, as we are out here in sunny St. George, out at Dixie State College over at Bruce Hurst Field. We've got this wonderful game going. The Spanish Fork Dons coming up against the Lehigh Pioneers, and it is a close one, folks. The Spanish Fork Dons are currently up 3-2. They didn't score in their last inning, and the Lehigh Pioneers were able to get a run across another RBI single by Ray Santa Cruz, as Anderson is now back on the mound here for the Pioneers, and he's going to have to deal with the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the Dons lineup.
Yeah, in both the first and third innings, the Dons threatened loading the bases, but unable to get the big 2-out hit today and drive in the runs. They were able to pick up 3 in the top of the second inning, but outside of that inning, they have been unable to come through.
So now Andrew Pintar is up for the Dons. Casey Anderson steps off there for a bit. Just get a little collected. Here's the pitch. Pintar rips that one down the third base line, and that is going to be strike one. Pintar flew out to right field in his first at bat, and he got a walk in his second at bat in the second inning and was able to score. Rips that one up the middle, and it is just past the diving second baseman there, just past Tyson Eager, and Pintar is on, and that is going to be a lead-off single here for the Dons in the fourth.
And this is the second inning that the Dons have been able to get the leadoff base runner on, and you can guess that it was the one that they scored all their runs in. So getting that leadoff base runner on has been a key for success so far in this game, as in both of the innings that the Pioneers have been able to score, they've been able to get that leadoff runner on, bringing across one on those Santa Cruz RBIs. And the 3 runs for the Dons came on a leadoff single in that inning as well, off the bat of Josh Dart.
And that is going to be taken high and outside there by Josh Cowden, as it is now a 1-0 count to the senior catcher. Cowden has had himself quite a playoff thus far down here in St. George's. Today he's 2-2, got a single, and had a double in his last at bat. As he sees that one go in for strike one, evening the count to 1-1.
Yeah, Cowden earlier today, 3 for 3 with 2 homers and a sac fly.
So 5 for 5 on the day.
And a productive out in his one recorded out.
He squares up for the bunt, and he lays down a bunt there, and he's able to get Pintar to advance to second, and again, another quality out, I guess, for Josh Cowden.
Yeah, Cowden has been really impressive today. If my count is correct, he has 5 RBIs on the day. So definitely been the offensive force for this Dons lineup, and again, another productive out doing his job.
5 hits, 5 RBIs. I mean, any hitter's going to take that. That is for dang sure, as Cy Nielsen now digs in, the right fielder for the Dons. And that one is going to hit him, and that is the second time that Nielsen has been hit in this game, as he trots on over to first base. And now we've got runners on first and second here.
First baseman.
Yeah, Nielsen didn't do too much to try to get out of that way of that one. He really just kind of turned, and it was a breaking ball. Didn't look like a pitch that was going to sting very much, and took it right off his back and walked down to first base.
And that's going to bring up Dylan Lee, the first baseman for the Dons. Lee walked in his first at bat, and he flew out to right field in his second one. Now his third plate appearance. And he's going to take that one for ball one. Lee's had a bit of a struggle in the games today. Really, just that one walk has kind of been the only thing that's been going for him today. See if he can get going here at the plate as he swings at some high cheddar there for strike one. Got runners on first and second here with one out in the top of the fourth, and Dylan Lee up for the Dons. Still facing Casey Anderson of the Pioneers. And that one is high in the air as Lee gets under that one and is out back into the parking lot for strike two.
Thank you.
It's a really close ball game here for the Dons and the Pioneers. As Anderson delivers, and that is going to be ripped over to the shortstop, and that looks like it is going to be, and it is, a nice double play there for the Pioneers as once again Anderson, the master of getting out of jams in this particular game, as he gets out of the two bases loaded jams, and this was another inning where they potentially could have threatened, and Anderson somehow weaves his way out of this one, and he puts up another goose egg here as it is still 3-2 here for the Spanish Fork Dons over the Lehigh Pioneers in this one as we head over to the bottom of the fourth. We'd like to take this opportunity to be able to thank our wonderful sponsors, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, State Farm Lance Wilson, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, McKell Christiansen Wines, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and of course, Two Jacks Pizza.
Well, the Pioneers are doing a good job of keeping this one closer than the matchups that they've had earlier on this season, as a 10-0 win earlier in the year, and the last matchup between these two teams with Casey Anderson pitching in that game as well, so he's done a good job of mixing up his approach in this one and helping keep the Pioneers in it as they're only down 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, he's somehow weaved his way out of a couple of really big jams, and so it's going to be important here for Ty Sorenson to once again lock down the Pioneers offense and make sure to keep the Dons up in the lead, or at least at the very least keep themselves in this ball game.
Yeah, every inning it seems like the Dons have threatened. Bases loaded in the first, bases loaded in the third, and first and second in the fourth, and in all three of those innings unable to bring any runs across. And the second inning, the one outlier here is they were able to get 3 runs across, fortunately, there.
Yeah, it's definitely the most important inning so far for the Dons, as now it is going to be McKay Wall up for the Pioneers, and he's going to take that one very much upstairs for ball one. Wall hit a single over in the second inning, his first at bat. This is his second plate appearance of the game as he rips that one out into left field, and that is going to once again be a leadoff hit for the Pioneers. A nice piece of hitting there by McKay Wall to start off the fourth.
And that has been the recipe success for the Pioneers today. Jacobson with leadoff singles in the first and third. McKay Wall with leadoff singles in the second and fourth. So those two guys getting the job done to lead off every inning.
Doing their job. That's the most important thing as a leadoff hitter you can do, is just get on base, and those guys have definitely proven their worth in that sense. As now Gentry Cox digs in, third baseman for the Pioneers. That's going to be a pickoff move, as they really are making sure that, in particular, McKay Wall, every time he's been on first base, they have thrown over there pretty frequently to make sure that he stays close.
Yeah, McKay Wall, a speedster. Definitely don't want to let him get over to second base, especially with only a 1-run lead here in the fourth.
As Cox once again shows bunt, and that is going to be strike one. As you remember, back in the second, Cox went down on strikes because he tried to bunt with 2 strikes. In fact, popped it back over the backstop and ended up striking out against Sorenson. Another pickoff move. What else is new?
Yeah, at this point, McKay Wall has got to be thinking, man, Why do you keep throwing over here? I'm not even getting that far off the base.
He really isn't. Here's that 0-1 to Cox. Nope, just kidding. We're going to get another pickoff.
And he dives back safely with relative ease.
Doing here is Gentry Cox is up. The 0-1 count, squares away for the bunt again. This time he lays it down, but it is going to be foul. Going to be well past the first base line there.
And Gentry Cox really struggling to get the bunt down today. Getting himself in an 0-2 hole last time and then bunting it foul again in the 0-2 hole here. It will be interesting to see if he attempts the bunt again.
Yeah, we'll see if they let him actually go for it, because he obviously bunted it foul on that and caused a strikeout. So we'll see what happens here on this 0-2 pitch. And that is going to be way upstairs, and that is going to now be a 1-2 count here to Gentry Cox.
Nice catch there by Josh Cowden. Really had to jump out of his catching stance and go up and get that ball, or else the tying run could be on second base over there with McKay Wall moving up easily if that ball gets by him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially with how close they've been keeping Wall. Like, you definitely would expect him to be easily in to second base on a pass ball like that one. So nice play there by Cowden. As Gentry Cox digs back in here, it's a 1-2 count with Ty Sorenson on the mound. Got McKay Wall over at first. And he rips that one to first, gets the tag at first, does send it on over, but he is going to be called safe over at second base. So they do get Gentry Cox out at first, but it does advance McKay Wall over to second.
Yeah, a little bit of a close play over there at second as McKay Wall was able to move up there. It looked like he rounded the base a little bit there, but was able to get his foot down just back in time before the tag was applied by Andrew Pintar there.
And there were definitely a bunch of Dons fans in the stands that were none too pleased with that particular safe call, but that is what the ump has decided as we move on over to Tyson Eager for the Pioneers. And he is going to take that one for strike one.
Eager with the strikeout back in the second inning. And a good RBI opportunity here with only one out and the runner Wall on second.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the 0-1. And that is going to be ball one. And that's going to even the count. Definitely one of the tighter games that Spanish Fork has played in. It tends to have been blownouts, but this one's been nice and tight all game long, as there's another move over there to make sure that Wall is staying close to his bag.
Eager struck out in both of his plate appearances in the last game against the Dons as that pitch gets away from the catcher Cowden.
Yeah, that one was going to be a tough one, but that is unfortunate there as Wall is able to mosey on over to third base.
If anything, though, that looked more like a wild pitch on the part of Ty Sorenson.
Absolutely.
And didn't seem like it was Cowden's fault behind the plate there at all.
Yeah, that one was going to be a tough one to get to, as they're kind of, once again, kind of talking things over in the infield, making sure they've got their alignment all matched up.
As Wall moves over to third base now with only one out and the 2-1 to Eager. As I mentioned, he struck out both times last time we played them, and he did strike out earlier today as well. So his last two games against our Dons, 3 strikeouts.
Hasn't necessarily been pretty for him as he watches that one, and that's going to take the count to 3-1. Eager doing a nice job of making Sorenson work in this at-bat. And here comes that 3-1. As that is also going to get past Cowden. It's going to shoot back well past him, and that is definitely going to score Wall from third, and that is also going to be a walk to Tyson Eager. So now a runner on first and the runner on third scoring, and we've got a tie ball game.
Yeah, a little bit of a tense moment here for the Dons now, as it's the bottom of the fourth here with one out and a tie game now on that wild pitch, as McKay Wall is able to come in and score, and again that leadoff runner for the third time in 4 innings able to come around and score.
Yeah, coming in to haunt the Dons, that's for sure, as now it's going to be Dylan Coe up for the Pioneers, the number 9 hitter and left fielder for them. And that is going to be right at the pitcher, and they are going to get it on over there, and that is going to be out number 2. Nice little Nice little play there by Sorenson.
Yeah, another lucky break there for the Pioneers, though, as they had Eager stealing second on that pitch, and a double play was unable to be performed. Still a nice play there on the mound by Ty Sorenson, being able to get Cove for the second out of the inning, but dangerous situation with a runner on second here with 2 outs, and a good RBI opportunity for a man who's been very productive at the plate today.
Absolutely. Hayden Jacobson has been absolutely phenomenal for them with those two singles to lead off the first and the third.
Yeah, yet to be able to retire him today, and a base hit again would be able to drive in a run.
That's going to be taken upstairs for ball 1. Is going to be, hopefully, it's a little unfortunate, but hopefully that potential double play doesn't come back to haunt them, as that is going to be now 2-0. Really, there wasn't any other play, unfortunately, just because the Eager, as you said, was able to get going. But, man, that would have been a nice one to get out of the inning. It looks like there's going to be a mound visit here.
Yeah, Coach Casey Nelson going out to the mound to try to calm down his pitcher, and what could be a very big moment in this game, as it is a tie game here in the bottom of the 4th. 1 run already across here for the Pioneers, and a runner on second here with 2 outs, and a hitter at the plate who's 2 for 2 on the day.
Yeah, definitely a dangerous situation for Ty Sorenson and for the Dons. Definitely got to make sure to figure out, he knows what his game plan is here on this 2-0 count, and be able to make sure that he does everything he can to be able to retire this guy that they haven't been able to get out so far. Jacobson doing a great job, and so this is definitely one of those key matchups, one of those key turning points in a game as we are here in the 4th. Definitely don't want to see this potentially break open and have the Pioneers take the lead here. Here comes that 2-0. And that is going to be upstairs for ball 3.
Yeah, both teams able to avoid elimination earlier today. The Skyview Bobcats falling to the Dons 11-0, and the Pioneers taking out the Orem Tigers 4-3 in 9 innings earlier today as well.
And that is going to be ball 4 to Hayden Jacobson as he does his job and he gets himself on base, does not create the out, and there are now runners on first and second for the Pioneers.
Yeah, Ty didn't seem to want any part of Hayden Jacobson at the plate there. He wants somebody else to beat him today.
Absolutely, can't blame him for that, so that might be the reason for the 4 straight balls there. Is now Braxton Holland is up the right fielder for the Pioneers. And that is going to be high and tight, and that's going to be ball 1. Braxton Holland laid down a sacrifice bunt in the first inning, and he flied out to center field in the 3rd. This is now his not his second, but his third plate appearance of the game. As he rips that one over to first base, and Dylan Lee is just going to take that one himself, and that is going to be out number 3 as Ty Sorenson is able to get out of that particular jam. The Pioneers were able to score 1 in this particular inning, and the game is now tied up. The Spanish Fork Dons and Lehigh Pioneers at 3-all in this beautiful game at Bruce Hurst Field in Dixie State College. Thank you so much for being with us here on Spanish 14, and we will be Spanish Fork 17, and we will be right back.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
And welcome back here on SF-17 here in the top of the 5th in what has been a tightly contested affair between 2 regional foes, as the Lehigh Pioneers and Spanish Fork Dons have traded blows as we are 3-all here in the top of the 5th. We'd like to remind you that you can watch our game on youtube.com/SpanishFork17 live or after the fact, so tell your friends, cousins, aunts, uncles, and everyone that we are live and in quite a battle here with the season on the line for the Dons.
Yeah, this is an important game. You know, get people online, get people watching this game, because this is one that could potentially decide the fate of the Dons, and for that matter, will decide the fate of the Pioneers as well. So get in, tune in.
And a leadoff strike to the senior second baseman, Dylan Hall. Hall 1 for 2 on the day, singling back in the third inning. And a ground ball that is ruled fair, just barely. I thought it had just clipped foul, but it stayed fair, and a nice play over there by Gentry Cox at third for the first out of the inning here in the top of the fifth.
Yeah, the throw from third is always a hard one just because it is the furthest one across the diamond. You got to go all the way over there, and it's just impressive to be able to make that kind of throw. So, yeah, nice play there by Gentry Cox.
And the sophomore designated hitter, Josh Dart, at the plate now. And Dart takes strike 1. Casey Anderson really seeming to find a groove now into this game as he continues to work deeper into it, as that ball is fouled off to bring the count to 0-2 now on Dart. An elimination game for both of these teams, as one of them will be taking the trip back up to Utah County tonight.
Yep. One of them is going to be packing up the bags, and this is about as side of a contest as we've had here in the playoffs so far.
And that pitch is up and away for ball 1. The winner of today's game will have a game tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 here at Bruce Hurst Field, home of the Dixie State Trailblazers. And they will be facing off against Desert Hills. As that pitch is outside for ball 2. Desert Hills, a very impressive team, falling in the winner's bracket today to Juan Diego 5-1. So the winner of this one, 1:30 tomorrow here. As that pitch is low and in the dirt, bringing the count full. If the Dons do advance in this one, we will have that one for you here tomorrow at 1:30. But still some work to be done for the Dons here in the 5th.
Yeah, no kidding. Tied ball game. They got to make sure that they can get some runs here in this one.
And a swing and a miss on a full count pitch to Dart, and that is the second out of the inning here in the 5th.
Yeah, big cut there by Josh Dart. Unfortunately, isn't able to get any kind of piece on that one, so that's an unfortunate leadoff out here for the Dons.
2 outs now in the
2 outs.
Inning after Hall grounded out to third. Nice play by Gentry Cox, and then the strikeout of Dart brings up Carson Chappell, who's struggled at the plate in this one so far. And a ball up and away as Chappell has struck out in the second and third innings today.
Any kind of contact here for Chappell would be a win.
As that is ball 2 now, as he has worked himself into a good hitter's count.
You know what would also be a win for Chappell is to just go ahead and take a walk. Nice 2-0 count here. He can be selective, doesn't have to force anything. So if he's the one he likes, then might as well hack it. But
and a strike just catching the plate low to bring the count to 2-1. Chappell had a nice day earlier, 2 for 2 with a walk, but yet to get a hit so far in this one. As that pitch is low and outside as it gets by the catcher, but no harm, no foul as there's no one on base, but that will bring the count to 3-1 here on Chappell.
Yeah, these past 2 hitters here with Chappell and Dart have worked themselves into nice favorable counts here, working 3 balls and potentially getting themselves on base.
And that pitch is up, and Chappell will reach base for the first time today as he draws a 2-out walk. And again, the Dons mustering a little bit of a rally here with 2 outs, just a matter of whether they're going to be able to get that big hit and drive in some runs.
They absolutely need it. And hey, this is a guy that had one of those big hits earlier in this game, and Riley Hess being able to hit that bloop double out there that then got the throw got away from them, and it went out into the outfield and was able to score as well on the double. So, I mean, this is a guy that's had some early success here in this game.
And that pitch gets away from the catcher, Braxton Maroth, and a big wild pitch as Chappell is able to move over to second base and get into scoring position here.
Yeah, I'm surprised that this hasn't been a bigger storyline in this game because it was such a huge one in the previous game with Anderson. So many pass balls, wild pitches and things. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that does end up playing into this game a bit more as Anderson fatigues a little bit.
And the 1-0 is fouled back off the bat of Hess. Yeah, wild pitches have already played a decent role in this game, as Dart was able to get a leadoff single back in the second, move over to second and third on wild pitches before that run was able to come in, but really not too much of a factor considering the big issue that Marath is as a liability behind the plate. And ball 2 to the center fielder Hess.
Another nice favorable hitters count here, 2-1. Hess can be a little more selective, especially with how erratic Anderson has been in this inning.
And he singles it out to right field, and the right fielder comes up and makes a nice strong throw. Braxton Holland charging that ball and keeping the runner Carson Chappell at third.
Chappell took a big old turn over there at third base, so definitely a nice play out there by Holland to get that one in quick, and it keeps Chappell over there at third base.
And with runners on the corners now and 2 outs, the Dons are in business.
Absolutely, this is exactly what they needed. Now you've got the top of the order up once again. You got Newman, who's been lacing the ball, just unfortunately not finding only finding gloves, unfortunately. 0 for 3 thus far.
Yeah, flight out to right, lined out to second, and flight out to center so far today. But Newman has been seeing the ball well despite his inability to get on base.
He absolutely has. He's tagged every single one of these loud outs that he's had so far. We'll see what he can do here in his fourth appearance here at the plate, as it looks like there's a bit of a conference over here at the mound.
And it looks like we will be having a new pitcher coming into this game. A bit of a surprise as Casey Anderson has been able to get out of what seems like every single jam so far in this game, and I guess they decided that this was one jam too much.
I guess so, because yeah, he's been an absolute master of wiggling out of them. The 2 bases loaded jams, they had another jam there with plenty of runners on base as well, 2 runners on base and another one as well. So I mean, he had been working himself out of these, and so I mean, eventually it's going to break at some point. So I feel like this is as good a time as any to go ahead and bring in a new pitcher.
And the new pitcher for the Lehigh Pioneers coming into the game will be number 3, Trevin Booth. Booth, a hard-throwing righty on this Pioneers pitching staff, will have a tough task coming into this game. A similar situation to back in the first inning where they were able to retire the first 2 batters before single hit by pitch walk led to a bases loaded jam. The Pioneers were able to work out of that situation in that one. But Booth tasked with a 2-out runners on the corner situation and a tie game here, 3-3 in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Booth has made 6 appearances on the season and has a .68 ERA, so certainly one of their pitchers that they can rely on to get a couple key outs, and this is definitely one of those key outs as Newman is digging in.
And a first pitch up and away to Newman. And with the runner over on third now, Braxton Marath, the catcher for the Pioneers, will have to be on his A game. Can't let any more pass balls get by him.
Oh, absolutely. That is something that they cannot risk at this point. He's got to be very disciplined back there behind the plate, make sure to keep everything in front of him.
And that ball is ripped for a base hit through the left side, and the Dons will retake the lead here in the top of the 5th as Newman finally finds a hole.
Absolutely. He has been absolutely tagging the ball all game long, so it was only going to be a matter of time before one of these finally found a hole, and that one absolutely did. A laser right in between shortstop and third base, and that is going to put the Dons back up in this one.
And the Dons finally able to capitalize on a little 2-out rally here. So many times in this game they failed to get that big hit, and Newman with a big RBI single there as a leadoff pitch is outside to the junior shortstop Andrew Pintar now at the plate. Pintar singled in his last plate appearance back in the 4th, 1 for 2 on the day with a walk.
Definitely doing a good job here in the 2-hole.
As he hits a ground ball foul down the third base line. And with the change, we have a new third baseman over there as well, as Casey Anderson, who was pitching, is now over there on third.
It'll be interesting to see how that changes the defenses. Cox had made some nice plays over there at third.
As that pitch is just outside, bringing the count to 2-1. And a pitch low brings the count to 3-1 now on Pintar, with runners on first and second here. Hess on second, Newman on first. 1 run already across here in the top of the 5th for the Dons.
Yeah, Pintar working himself into a nice hitter's count here, 3-1.
And that ball is shot out to right field, and that will get over the right fielder Braxton Holland's head, and that will score at least 2. Pintar going for third, and he slides in just safely, a 2 RBI triple for Pintar, and the Dons have blown open a little bit of a lead here.
There it is, there it is. That is the 2-out rally that they were hoping for, and man, what an absolute blast there by Pintar. Able to stay disciplined, got a pitch that he liked on that 3-1 count, takes it oppo and completely over the right fielder's head, over Holland, and Holland does a good job of getting it in, and they did at least make it a potential play over there at third base, but Pintar on his horse and gets the triple there.
And Josh Cowden takes ball 1 outside. A note on Pintar: as we were walking over to start this game, we talked to the grandparents and the mother of Pintar and promised that if he did something good, we'd give him a shout out. So good work to the Pintar family, and a great hit by him there. As ball 2 is up and away.
Definitely loving that. That was a fun conversation with the Pintar family. Always fun to be able to talk with the fans and kind of get their perspective on things.
And that pitch is popped up out to left off the bat of Cowden. The left fielder ranging back, drifting over his head, and it will drop over Dylan Coe's head, and another run will come in to score. A tough error out there by Dylan Coe, and you really almost feel like the wheels are coming off a little bit here for this Lehigh Pioneers defense.
Golly, that's unfortunate. That ball just kept on carrying for Cowden. As you said, it kind of looked like it was going to be just a nice little routine fly ball there, and it just kept going and going and going and going. And man, Coe unfortunately not able to come up with that one. That one should have been caught.
Yeah, despite the drift, he had plenty of time to get under that ball, and while it did get deep, it should have been a play, and the play should have been made, but Pintar able to come in and score because of it. And a base hit through the left side now, and that will allow Josh Cowden to round third in the play at the plate, and he is safe, and another run will come in to score off the base hit by Cy Nielsen. And 4 runs have now come in to score, all with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Back-to-back outs to start the inning. And then the floodgates opened here for this Dons offense.
Man, to think that they're 1 out away from getting out of this inning, but just, man, the hits just keep coming here for the Dons. It's just been an absolute parade. Nice job there by Nielsen to once again find the gap between the shortstop and the third baseman, and it looks like we're going to have another conversation over there at the mound.
Yeah, as the Lehigh's coach Jason Ingersoll goes out, it looks like he may have made a fatal mistake in this game, taking Casey Anderson out. He had been able to get out of jam after jam all game long, and they just didn't trust him to get out of one more. And the second they took him out of the game, the floodgates have really opened, and the lead has been taken. Before he was taken out of the game, he allowed a 2-out walk to Carson Chappell, and Riley Hess did single him over to third. So there were runners on the corners, but since he left the game, Newman was able to single in a run. Andrew Pintar with the big 2 RBI double out to right field. A big error out there and left by the left fielder Dylan Coe, as Josh Cowden was able to reach second, and Pintar was able to come in and score. And then Cy Nielsen singling in Cowden. And 5 runs have come across here in the top of the 5th, as Spanish Fork now leads 8-3.
Yeah, it's been a very impressive inning for the offense here for the Dons, as you've been talking about. It seems like it's been, when it rains, it pours. It's been feast or famine, I guess, for the Dons. You got the 3 runs there in the second, now 5 runs here in the 5th, and so it's just been, when the offense is clicking, it just keeps on going and going and going. And so this was the inning that the Dons absolutely needed to kind of give themselves some separation here against the Pioneers.
And as we mentioned a moment ago, we have a new pitcher now in the game for the Lehigh Pioneers. And replacing Trevin Booth will be the leadoff hitter for the Pioneers in today's game. Number 23, Hayden Jacobson.
An interesting choice here. They've had, the two righties coming in this game, and now with Hayden Jacobson, you've got a lefty there on the mound. Maybe they're trying to play a little bit of a matchup game here. Give the lefty an opportunity, maybe give the Dons a different look, maybe just to potentially throw the bats off a little bit.
Jacobson is a junior, and he has been impressive on the year. In 12 appearances, he has a .57 ERA. He has 1 win and 2 losses. Don't know how he lost 2 games with a .57 ERA, but has been a dominant force on the mound out for the Pioneers this season.
Dang, yeah, you have an ERA like that, you're pitching just fine. To be able to have 2 losses with that kind of ERA, man, that's got to kind of suck for him, to be quite honest. That's just bad luck right there. So we'll see what Jacobson's able to do here against this Dons lineup.
And as Jacobson takes the mound for his first batter, he will have to face the senior first baseman Dylan Lee, who is the 9th hitter for the Dons this inning. Everyone getting a turn to bat here in the 5th.
Everyone hits.
And a ball is just a little up to bring the count to 1-0 on Lee.
Yeah, Lee walked in the first inning and then flied out to right field, and then he hit into a double play in the 4th.
Yeah, big rally killer back in the 4th, but the Dons have been able to bounce back here in the 5th.
No kidding. Absolutely a great 2-out rally here by the Dons, really kind of giving themselves, as I said, that breathing room they need here against the Pioneers.
And the 2-1 pitch is hit out to center field, and Hunter Herrera settles under it and makes the play as the Lehigh defense is finally able to record that 3rd out and get out of this inning, but not before the damage was done. 5 runs on 3 hits, 1 runner left on base, and the Dons able to break this one open a little bit here in the top of the 5th. What once was a 3-3 game, now an 8-3 game. And an interesting note, the last time that these two played, it was quite close until the 5th inning. It was only 4-0, and the Dons were able to put up 6 there to 10-run them. So this 5th inning has really been the key inning in this Pioneers-Dons matchup this season. And as we head now to the bottom of the 5th, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, Sporting Goods for all seasons, and 2 Jack's Pizza.
Yeah, it seems that 5 is the number here for the Dons, though, putting up the 5 spot in the 5th inning. So definitely a great 2-out rally and an opportunity here for Sorenson to kind of lock things down, be able to hopefully get a nice shutdown inning for the Dons, be able to kind of quiet down the Pioneers potentially for good here in this game.
Yeah, Ty Sorenson back out on the mound in the bottom of the 5th as he throws a leadoff strike to the junior center fielder Hunter Herrera, who just made the play out in center field to finally end that top of the 5th. And he lines one out to left, and Carson Chappell squares under it nicely and throws it in, and a quick first out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Definitely a great job there by Sorenson. Hey, 2 pitches, 1 out. Nice little efficiency there for Sorenson. A well-hit ball by Herrera, but certainly Chappell had an easy beat on that one. That was lined right to him, so nice little leadoff out for the Dons.
And definitely a key bottom of the 5th here. After finally breaking this game open and scoring 5 runs, Ty Sorenson really just needs to go out there and make the Pioneers hitters work.
Absolutely, and this is one of those ones that he needs to work here in Ray Santa Cruz, who's been very successful in this game.
And Santa Cruz fouls off that first pitch to bring the count to 0-1. Sorenson doing a better job of working a little bit quicker here and also getting ahead in the count. And another strike from Sorenson brings the count to 0-2. Looks a little bit reinvigorated on the mound out there. When your offense kind of puts up a big spot for you, you can kind of really build your confidence out there on the mound.
Oh, absolutely. You know that your offense is behind you, so you can just pitch easy.
And strike 3 looking. Santa Cruz goes down for the 2nd out of the inning here. in the bottom of the fifth. And on the flip side of things, for the Lehigh Pioneers, they look pretty deflated as they come up to the plate now as well. The body language is definitely not what it used to be, as it was really a back-and-forth game for much of this game until that top of the fifth inning.
Absolutely, and Santa Cruz being a big part of that with those 2 RBI singles.
And a swing at a pitch in the dirt by the senior pitcher, Casey Anderson, who has struggled at the plate today, grounding into a fielder's choice and also grounding into a key double play to end the inning and get the Dons out of a jam back in the third.
An unfortunate day on the mound, and also kind of an unfortunate day here at the plate, too.
Anderson, I felt like, really actually pitched quite well on the mound today. They may have just took him out a batter too early.
Definitely agree with you there. I thought that he had done so well at getting out of jams. Maybe they could have left him in there for a little bit longer.
And a ball just inside brings the count to 2-1 now. And a fastball for strike 2 brings the count even at 2-2.
Hey, you were right about Sorenson. He looks invigorated out there on the mound. He's really commanding the strike zone right now. And now with the 4 strikeouts here on the game and looking for number 5 here against Anderson.
And a foul ball down the right field line.
Golly, that one did not miss by much.
And the 2-2 now. And a swing and a miss, and the second strikeout of the inning. And Ty Sorenson is absolutely amped, pumping his fists as he comes off the mound. And a big 1-2-3 inning for the Dons in the bottom of the fifth. Really coming out and slamming the door after a huge top of the fifth inning. And after 5 innings here, it is 8-3 Dons lead here on SF-17.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
Welcome back to Spanish Fork 17. We are here at Bruce Hurst Field over at Dixie State College in beautiful St. George. And we've got a ball game here. It is the Spanish Fork Dons against the Lehigh Pioneers. The Spanish Fork Dons put up 5 runs in the fifth. The offense finally being able to break out, getting Casey Anderson out of the game and also roughing up some of the relief pitchers for the Lehigh Pioneers. And then Sorenson came out and was absolutely dealing and put up a 0 for the Pioneers, as now the game is 8-3. And that is going to be upstairs. That is going to be ball 1 to Dylan Hall. And he's going to swing through that one, and that is going to even the count to 1-1. Dylan Hall has a single in this game. He got that in the third. He is 1 for 3, grounded out in the first inning and grounded out again in the fifth as well. As Hall looks at that one upstairs, takes it to a 2-1 count.
Yeah, Hall 0 for 3 in the first game today, 1 for 3 in this one. So not his best day offensively, but a really nice single back in the third inning in this one.
And he laces that one and looks like it's going to find that gap that the Dons have really been hitting over there towards shortstop and third base, and that is going to be a lead-off single for Dylan Hall for the Dons here in the sixth.
Yeah, his bat's heating up a little bit these last couple, as 2 singles, a single up the middle in the third and a single to left in the sixth. And what once didn't seem like a productive day for Dylan is really turning into a much more reasonable day, as, again, the Dons have a leadoff base runner.
Yep, you gotta love 2 for 4. It's a nice game there for Dylan Hall. They're kind of playing a little pitch and catch there.
Pinch hitting for Spanish Fork,
Again, it is Hayden Jacobson on the mound for the Lehigh Pioneers, one of the relievers that has come in. Trayvon Booth came in and got roughed up, and they brought in Hayden Jacobson, who got that last out in the top of the 5th. And so Jacobson now still on the mound, giving up that single to Dylan Hall. And now it looks like we've got a pinch hitter here for the Spanish Fork Dons. It looks like they've swapped out Josh Dart over as a designated hitter.
And the batter now for the Dons will be Sage Olsen.
Sage Olsen is the other primary designated hitter for the Dons. Usually he's the one that comes in when they know that they've got a lefty on the mound. Olsen definitely a big lefty killer, so playing a bit of matchup here as that one is going to be taken for ball 2.
Yeah, Olsen on the year, very quality hitter, 270 with 10 hits and 4 RBIs. Not a ton of opportunities, but like you said, when Dart is not in there, when lefties come in, it is often Sage Olsen who gets the opportunity out there on the out there in the batter's box.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. They want to play matchups when they can, and Olsen does a good job there against lefties, so might as well bring in the big righty. They had a little discussion over there, just kind of making sure they know what Olsen wants to do in this particular
now
bat.
running at first base, number 16, Hunter Clark.
Looks like they've also brought in a pinch runner over there at first base. Going to be Hunter Clark. As Olsen pops that one, dang.
Yep, just over our heads there. Bringing the count to 2-1. Nice healthy cut there by Olsen.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely wanted that one. You know, you get in here as a pinch hitter. It's your first at bat in the game. You're just really eager to do anything you can for your team. So I can understand why he's hacking there. Here's the 2-1. And he definitely rips that one as that one is out in right field. And the nice play there. And it keeps Clark over there at first base, and that is going to be an out.
Left fielder, number 13.
Yeah, Braxton Holland almost misplayed that ball, but he made a nice catch out there in right field. He has made some nice plays out there today. That one ball getting over his head on that triple by Pintar last inning, the big hit in the inning, the 2 RBI triple extending the lead from 4-3 to 6-3. But other than that play, he's played really solidly out and right.
Yeah, otherwise, yeah, solid game. As there's a pickoff move over there to first by Jacobson. We now have Carson Chappell up at the plate, the left fielder for the Dons. As we've mentioned before, Chappell's had a bit of a rough game here, 2 strikeouts, but he did get a walk in his last at-bat, able to be a little more patient. We'll see how he does in this at-bat here. Chappell squares away for the bunt, and he pops it up, and a nice play there by Hayden Jacobson to get the little pop fly bunt there, and that's going to be 2 outs for the Dons here in the 6th.
Yeah, great play by the pitcher Jacobson.
Center fielder,
getting off the mound quickly and diving, and not a great bunt by Chappell, really popping that ball up, but don't take anything away from the athleticism and the nice play by Jacobson there for the second out of the inning here.
No, absolutely, yeah, just kind of an unfortunate little pop-up there for Chappell. But, yeah, great play by Jacobson as Riley Hess is digging in. And he's going to take that one for strike 1. Riley Hess has definitely had a nice game here with that double in the second inning. He walked in the third, and then he was able to get another single in the 5th. So very, very productive game for Hess. As he swings on that one, that is going to be popped foul. And that is going to be over and out of play. As Hess is now in an early 0-2 hole. We've got runner on first here for the Dons. It is, as I've said, it is the top of the 6th. The score is 8-3. Spanish Fork Dons over the Lehigh Pioneers. We've got Hayden Jacobson on the mound for the Pioneers. We've got the number 9 hitter Riley Hess at the plate here on this 0-2 count. As he lazily pops that one up to the first baseman, and he's able to make the nice play over there, and that is going to be the 3rd out for the Dons. Hayden Jacobson does his job as the relief pitcher and is able to put up a 0 on the board, so no runs there for the Dons. The score is still 8-3, a 5-run advantage for the Dons over the Pioneers as we whip it on over to the bottom of the 6th. This is a great opportunity for us to remind you about our wonderful sponsors, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, State Farm Lance Wilson, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and Two Jacks Pizza.
And with that play over at first, we can talk about a few of the defensive changes that the Lehigh defense has made over at first base on that play. Gentry Cox moving from third over to first. The pitcher Anderson moving over to third, and the first baseman was Hayden Jacobson moving over to the mound. So a little bit of a move there. Pitcher moving to third, third moving to first, and first moving to pitcher.
And kind of dizzying to keep up with all the moves there. Pretty crazy, though. One move that hasn't been made yet is at the mound for the Dons, as Ty Sorenson is still in this game.
Yeah, 5 strikeouts today for Ty Sorenson, and he really seemed to lock it in last inning with back-to-back strikeouts to end the 5th inning, and he was amped as he came off the mound, realizing the importance of the moment as we head now to the bottom of the 6th, and the Dons hold a nice 5-run lead.
That is going to be popped up and potentially playable here for Dylan Lee, and he gets under it, and that is going to be 1 pitch and 1 out to start off the bottom of the 6th here. Nice pitch selection there by Ty Sorenson, and a great play over there by Dylan Lee.
And just what the doctor ordered for Ty Sorenson there, as another quick out as he tries to continue to work deep into this game and save the rest of the Dons pitching staff for a potential big one tomorrow.
As that one is going to be grooved in there for strike 1 to Gentry Cox.
Cy Nielsen going 4 2/3 today. And Ty Sorenson going much of this one today. So not a lot of the pitchers from the Don staff have had to be used so far in this tournament.
And that is going to be a boon for them as they hopefully continue on the playoffs, as now Gentry Cox is working a 1-1 count here to Sorenson. And he takes a wave at that one and looks, as he's stamping his foot on that one, he really didn't like that particular swing, and he moves the count to 1-2. Cox was a strikeout victim in the 2nd, and he was almost a strikeout victim right there, but it is called low and outside, and that evens the count to 2-2. He also grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th as well. As Sorenson now gets ready for this 2-2 count. That is going to be taken upstairs and a little tight, and Cox has worked it to a full count.
Yeah, Cox with a nice patient approach here. The Pioneers in desperate need of base runners down here in the bottom of the 6th, so expect him to attempt to work a walk there, but unable to.
That did not work, and that is going to be another strikeout there for Sorenson, his 6th on the game, as Cox goes down looking on that one, just kind of wasn't quite sure what to do there, and he goes down on strikes, and that's going to be out number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, like I was saying, expect him to look for the walk. He wanted that walk, but Ty Sorenson was giving him none of it.
As that is going to be popped up foul by Tyson Eager, the second baseman for the Pioneers.
Yeah, 0-1 now on Eager. Quickly in a hole as Sorenson continues to work ahead of these hitters for these last 2 innings.
And that is going to be roped, and it is going to be just outside of the reaching arm of Dylan Hall. That's going to get away from Dylan Lee, but thankfully a nice backup play there by Josh Cowden to potentially avoid the advancing runner there of Tyson Eager. So still a nice piece of hitting there by Tyson Eager for a single.
Yeah, Eager with his first hit today. Drew a walk back in the 4th inning, but was 0 for 1 before that solid base hit to right.
Yeah, definitely a nice piece of hitting by Eager, as it now brings up Dylan Coe, the number 9 hitter for the Pioneers. Dylan Coe backs away from that one, so a little bit inside for ball 1. Here comes that pitch by Sorenson, as that is going to be high and tight. Definitely ducks out of the way there. That's going to be now a 2-0 count to Dylan Coe. Coe not having quite as good of a game as he had previously, right?
Yeah, you beat me to it. That's exactly what I was going to say. He had 2 nice hits in that game a couple weeks ago.
That was going to be trouble, and he dives for it, but unable to come up with it, as that now advances the runner over to third. So a bit of a bloop single there for Dylan Coe, and that now puts runners on the corners here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, kind of a lucky break for Coe. When that ball went up in the air, it looked like it was going to be an easy play, and a big gust of wind came right as he hit that ball. really blew that ball in. And it kind of caught Nielsen off guard, unable to get there in time as he dove, but that ball was able to drop, and that will be the end of the day for Ty Sorenson on the mound.
Yeah, it's still a great day for Sorenson, but can understand the need to potentially go ahead and take him out with runners on the corners here and 2 outs. So we'll see what change happens here, what Coach Nielsen ends up going with. It looks like we've got the pitcher rumbling on in. It's number 34. Yeah, it was a nice day for Sorenson, and he definitely pitched a good game, gave them some quality innings here for the Dons, and able to put them in a position where they definitely have a great chance of winning this one.
Yeah, a little bit of a 2-out rally here for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 6th, as Eager with that quality single to right field, and a little bit of a lucky bloop single for the Pioneers on that one with the 8 of the wind, has Tyson Eager on third and Dylan Coe on first. Runners on the corner here with 2 outs as the new pitcher enters the game for the Dons.
And it's going to be the first baseman, Dylan Lee comes into this game. Dylan Lee, usually the first baseman for the Dons, but getting some reps here as the pitcher for the Dons in this late game here against the Pioneers.
And with Lee moving into the game, we also have a substitution at first base now with Sorenson coming out. Lee moving over from first, and on first base now will be the junior, number 22, Tyson Massey, coming into the game to play first. And on the year for Lee, not a ton of pitching experience. In 5 appearances, he does have a 0 ERA, so very impressive on that front from Dylan Lee.
Hey, why not? If you've got a guy that hasn't given up a run yet in the season, why not give him some opportunity to be able to pitch here in the playoffs? I like this move by the Dons with 2 outs here in the 6th. Give him some, a look here and see what he can do, as that now brings up the leadoff hitter, Hayden Jacobson, for the Pioneers, as he takes that one upstairs for ball 1. So again, there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. We got runners on the corners for the Pioneers. Dylan Lee coming in to pitch and facing Jacobson as he once again takes another one high for ball 2.
Lee on the season with 5 innings pitched. He has allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, but 0 of them earned. So no earned runs on the year, with 4 walks and 3 strikeouts.
That one's going to be upstairs once more, and Jacobson is definitely showing his patience here with this 3-0 count.
Yeah, Jacobson has been the most productive hitter for this Pioneers lineup today. Singles in the 1st and the 3rd, stolen base back in the 3rd as well, and a walk in the 4th. So the only hitter yet to be retired today by these Dons pitchers.
Yeah, nice little pickoff move there for Dylan Lee, as now we've got the 3-0 count here. They were thinking about that one. That was one of those moments where it's like, is it a strike, is it not? And they award him the base, and so the bases are now loaded here in the bottom of the 6th, and could potentially be some danger here, actually, for the Dons in the 6th.
Yeah, after back-to-back outs here in the top of the 6th, a little bit of a 2-out rally by the Pioneers. The Pioneers bench, though, is really quite quiet. They don't really provide the energy that you feel like the Dons bench does, but that is a hit by pitch, and that'll bring in a run.
Dang, an unfortunate pitch there by Lee, as that is going to bring in Tyson Eager and move everyone else on over. It moves Dylan Coe over to 3rd. It moves Jacobson over to 2nd, and that moves Braxton, of course, with the hit by pitch, is now over at first base.
And we will have a meeting out there on the mound as Dylan Lee is struggling to throw strikes. And he is done. Definitely not the best performance from him. A 4-pitch walk to Jacobson and a hit by pitch to Holland. And the Dons head coach, Casey Nelson, is having none of it, not wanting to let this game get close again, as 1 run already across here in the bottom of the 6th.
Absolutely, yeah. I think this is the right choice here by Coach Nielsen. Definitely not wanting to let this game get out of hand. You have the 5-run lead here. Now all of a sudden, technically, you've got the hitter coming up is going to represent the tying run, so you definitely need to stop the bleeding here, get this last out in the inning, and kind of turn it over and get yourself get yourself going here over in the top of the 7th. So I can definitely understand the pitching change here.
Yeah, still with a nice 4-run lead, but the bases loaded and the tying runner coming up to the plate. Some big hitters coming up for the Pioneers in the center fielder Hunter Herrera and then the shortstop Ray Santa Cruz. So the hitters coming up to the plate that the Pioneers want. And on the mound for the Dons now will be the former third baseman, number 14, the junior Tay Newman.
Yeah, an interesting choice there, bringing in Newman. These are a couple of arms that we don't necessarily normally see here. With obviously with Dylan Lee getting a little crack here, and now Newman getting a bit of a look here on the mound as well, and that's obviously going to bring a couple of other defensive changes as well, with him moving from third base now over to the pitcher's mound.
And Josh Dart will now be on third base. Dylan Lee moving right back over to first. And like we mentioned a moment ago, Newman will now be out there on the mound. A short appearance from Tyson Massey over there on first base, coming in to replace Lee and immediately being removed back out of the game. And Newman on the year has been quite decent. 3.60 ERA, 1 win, 0 losses in 9 appearances as he throws a first pitch strike to Hunter Herrera.
Yeah, definitely starting off on the right foot there with that first strike here to Herrera. So we'll see what Newman can do here. Yeah, just said decent numbers, so maybe he's the one that can actually lock this inning down. So there's the pitch, and that is going to be popped up, and that is going to get out of play, and is going to be
foul for strike 2.
Yep.
And Newman on the year, just wrapping up his numbers, 11 2/3 innings pitched. 14 hits allowed, 9 runs, 6 earned runs, with 9 strikeouts and 7 walks. Definitely not a common pitcher for this Don's team, but he has appeared in 10 games this season as he comes in a big situation here, needing to get one out to get out of this jam.
Yeah, they just need the one, and they thought that they were going to get that from Dylan Lee, but unfortunately not able to come through, and hopefully they're crossing their fingers here that Newman can be the one that finally gets him out of here. Here's the 0-2 pitch.
As a pitch is outside, bringing the count to 1-2 now on Newman.
It's interesting because Cowden almost made it seem like it was going to be a strike, kind of pointed at his boy. It was like, oh, you got it, but then all of a sudden they called it a ball, and so here comes that 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be in the dirt, and that's now going to work it over to a 2-2 count.
And Dylan Coe on third, Hayden Jacobson on second, Braxton Holland on first. The bases are loaded here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. 1 run already across for the Pioneers. And that pitch is low and outside, bringing the count full now.
And what an interesting situation here for the Dons. I mean, they had a 5-run lead going in here. They get that 1 run there for the Pioneers that squeaks across here in this inning, and now you got trouble here with this full count against Herrera as he lines that one, and it is over Dylan Hall's head, and that is going to be bringing in he's going to bring in 1 run as they are able to get the ball in pretty quick there. But man, Tay Newman comes in and they still aren't able to get that 3rd out in this inning.
Yeah, Don's really struggling to get that final out after that wind blew that ball up in the air, and Cy Nielsen was unable to make that play. It has really opened up the floodgates a little bit here as 2 runs have already come across as Eager and Coe has come around to score. Jacobson moves to third, Holland moves to second, and Herrera to first on the single.
And it brings up the guy that you don't want to see at the plate, and Ray Santa Cruz, as he takes that one high for ball 1.
The 8th hitter on the inning for the Pioneers, 2 runs already across.
Newman looks in here, and here is the 1-0 to Santa Cruz. And he's going to take a long look at that one, and it is going to be a ball as he's now worked himself into a 2-0 count. So the bases are loaded here, and the Pioneers have gotten 2 runs so far in this inning, and this could potentially be an inning where the Pioneers get back in this game. Because that one is going to be outside and low again, and once again, the Don's pitchers here in this inning that have come in to replace Sorenson have been a little erratic, and it's now a 3-0 count to Santa Cruz.
Yeah, 3 singles to go along with a walk and a hit by pitch, but you really feel like these pitchers have been falling behind in nearly every batter.
And that is going to be yet another walk here.
And that is strike
strike
one.
Two.
That is strike one, and the runner is caught up, and he will come around to score, and another run will come in to score for the Pioneers.
Wow, what an absolutely crazy play there. And it looked like it was going to be ball four, and Santa Cruz even acted like it was going to be ball four, and then all of a sudden it was called a strike, and everyone was kind of caught in no man's land there for a little bit, and they were able to, the Pioneers were able to get Hayden Jacobson to score on that play, but man, that was one of the more bizarre things I've seen so far down here in St. George.
Absolutely awful job by Don Baker, the home plate umpire. He has got to make that call sooner. That is so just brutal for these players, thinking that it's a ball four, and Pioneers lucky that they weren't caught off first base there.
As he fouls that one back, and that is going to work the count to full here for Ray Santa Cruz. That's definitely one of those situations where delaying that call definitely, it ended up costing the Dons and very easily could have ended up costing the Pioneers. So you just really got to be a little bit quicker on that count, on that call.
Yeah, Hunter Herrera would have been picked off first, and instead, breaking for home was Hayden Jacobson, and because of that, a little bit of a misplay by the Dons, allowing another run to come in, and 3 runs in now here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, just a weird one as Newman's kind of caught in the crosshairs there, kind of making sure that everyone's staying over at their bases over on the corners. The count is still full here to Ray Santa Cruz. As Elliot was saying, 3 runs have come across here in this particular half inning, and here's the pitch. And once again, Santa Cruz is able to get a piece of that one and fouls it off.
The Dons have been 1 out away here for a while, much like the Pioneers were 1 out away back in the 5th inning.
Santa Cruz gets a piece of that one, and it gets past Andrew Pintar, and that is going to score yet another run, and it is now going to be cutting the deficit down to 8-7. So now it's just a 1-run difference here for the Dons against the Pioneers, as Santa Cruz once again comes through with another RBI single.
And what a game this has been, back and forth. It really looked like the Pioneers were in trouble when they fell behind 8-3 coming in the top of the 5th. Those 5 runs coming for the Dons, but a big response here from the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 6th. 4 runs already across, all with 2 outs, similar to the 2-out rally by the Dons in the 5th.
Absolutely crazy. I mean, the Dons came out so pumped after that inning, and they were able to really get those 5 runs. Ty Sorenson locked things down. Now all of a sudden they are right, the Pioneers are right back in the thick of this thing, as it's now Casey Anderson up. And he pops that one up. And we'll see if that is potentially playable there for Josh Cowden. And he gets under it, and mercifully for the Dons, that is going to be the last out of the inning after one of the crazier half innings we've seen here down in the playoffs, as the Pioneers get 4 runs across. Absolutely nuts, as we are heading on over to the top of the 7th. Thank you so much for being here with us on Spanish Fork 17, and we will be right back.
Hi, welcome to Two Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to Two Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
And welcome back here at Dixie State College in what has been a back and forth affair in this elimination game here at Bruce Hurst Field between the Spanish Fork Dons and the Lehigh Pioneers, and it's been close all the way through. 3-3 after 4, 5 runs for the Dons in the top of the 5th, 4 for the Pioneers in the bottom of the 6th to rally and get back in it, but a nice play by Cowden to get him out of that inning, as the Dons now lead 8-7 as we head to this 7th and final frame. And a first pitch ball to the junior third baseman Tay Newman as he leads off this inning.
Yeah, Newman, the relief pitcher currently right now, so it's just been one of those crazy games.
And Newman grounds it over to third. And a nice play over there by Casey Anderson, who was the pitcher at one point during this game, now playing third, throwing it over to the once third baseman who's now playing first, Gentry Cox, for the first out of the inning here.
Yeah, this is the most switches I've ever seen, like, in a game before here in high school. Like, just everyone's playing different positions, everyone's getting into pitch. It's been a bit of a crazy one.
And one out now in the top of the seventh. And ball one to the junior shortstop, Andrew Pintar. Pintar on the day is 2 for 3 with a walk. He has a triple as well. One of the big hits in that 5-run top of the fifth. As he fouls that one off to bring the count to 1-1.
Yeah, Pintar's been a key player in this game for the Dons, making nice plays over there at shortstop as well with his glove, and then definitely doing some damage with his bat as well with that single and with that very key triple in that rally in the fifth.
And the pitch is outside, bringing the count to 2-1 on Pintar.
And Pintar in his at-bats has really done a good job of really working the pitcher. A lot of deep counts here. Let's see what he can get here on a 2-1.
And he swings ahead of the fastball, bringing the count to 2-2 now, evening it up.
Maybe a little bit eager on that one, just a bit out ahead of that one. So now a 2-2 count. But yeah, he's definitely done his job, and so let's see what he can do here to maybe get on base and start up another rally here for the Dons.
And he swings through the changeup, and that is the second out of the inning here in the top of the seventh. 2 quick outs for the Dons, who just got back into their dugout, and immediately 2 quick outs. Nice job by Jacobson on the mound here.
Yeah, Jacobson doing a great job. He's definitely come in and calms those Dons bats down, and has done a good job to keep the Pioneers really in this game. It's been his pitching effort that has done just as much damage as even the Dons bats have done in this game.
And that pitch is low and outside to the senior catcher, Josh Cowden. Cowden also having a nice day as he takes that pitch up to bring the count to 2-0. Cowden is 2 for 3 with a single and a double. And he also reached on the error by the left fielder.
Cowden's definitely strung together a couple of nice games here in the playoffs. As we've mentioned only a few times, I guess, in this broadcast, he had a multi-home run game in the first game today, and so he's definitely done his part to be getting on base, driving in runs. He's definitely been, you almost say, the MVP so far in these playoffs.
And a pitch low to Cowden brings the count to 3-0 as Cowden has worked himself into a good hitter's count here.
Very patient approach here by Cowden. Good job.
And the fastball down the middle for strike one.
Looked like he was kind of taking all the way on that one. Didn't want to necessarily swing at something and spoil a good at bat here. So 3-1 count, still hittable here.
And that pitch is up and away for ball 4. And a 2-out walk to Josh Cowden.
And did his job. He got on base, like he was able to be patient, took those balls, and really didn't take any hacks at any bad pitches. So definitely made Jacobson pitch to him, and instead of, finding something he liked, he instead just said, hey, I'll take the free base. And so now he's over at first with 2 outs.
Cy Nielsen, the junior right fielder for the Dons today, has also been the recipient of a couple free passes, but not the way you like it. He's gotten plunked twice today. He is also singled and is 1 for 2. But done a good job of getting on base in any way that he can.
Absolutely. On a couple of them, he didn't even back away. He was just like, fine, I'll get hit by the ball.
And the batter, Cy, calls time.
I felt like Jacobson was maybe taking a little bit extra time there, so needed to kind of step out and recollect.
And an interesting play over there by the first baseman, Gentry Cox, as he kind of shoved Cowden off the plate going for the catch, but then did not apply the tag, and so the game will go on.
Yeah, that was not sequence. Basically just kind of gave him the stiff arm there, but then nothing happened.
Didn't play that, and that ball is mashed. But again, just foul, as Cy likes to do that lately. His third time this tournament, absolutely mashing one foul.
Man, my heart hurts for him because he's just on these. He's absolutely on them, but they're just hooking foul, absolutely crushing these ones out towards left. You just hope that one of these can maybe stay a little bit more straight and finally get out of the ballpark.
Yeah, nice approach by Nielsen at the plate, really driving the ball hard, but unable to get the big hit so far. And he stays back on that one and drives it up the middle. And another potential two-out rally is brewing as there are runners on first and second now as Cowden moves over to second and Cy Nielsen moves up to first on the single. And even every inning, it feels like, even if you get those first two guys out, there's still a lot of work to do to get that third one.
You are never safe. You are never safe in this game. It is absolutely ridiculous. Like, most of the runs have been scored with two outs. It's just absolutely insane. If you're folks, if you are not getting your cousins and your friends watching this game on YouTube, you're crazy.
And that ball is ripped out to left field, and it gets over the head of Dylan Coe out and left, another misplayed ball, and one run will come in to score. Cy Nielsen being waved around as well. 2 runs come in to score for the Dons, and a big error out there by Dylan Coe and left. And more 2-out runs coming in.
Wow, just an absolutely crazy game. What a shot there by Dylan Lee. Like, unfortunately for the left fielder there for Dylan Coe, that ball just kind of kept cruising. It got another one of those big gusts of wind came in and just kind of kept carrying, and Dylan Coe just didn't know what to do and kind of ended up falling on that play. And so 2 runs come in on just another one of those kind of wacky plays that's happened in this game.
Yeah, they teach you as an outfielder, your first step is always back. He kind of stepped in a little bit there, caught him off guard, and he was unable to recover and make up the ground. And a big 2 runs coming in now for the Dons, as that is a hit batter, as Dylan Hall will now move down to first base, catching that on the left leg.
The pitcher,
and
15, Josh.
Dylan Hall now on first, Dylan Lee over at second. And we will have a pinch runner now for Dylan Lee over at second base with 2 outs, bringing in a more speedy runner, trying to score on a base hit.
It definitely makes sense. Might as well make sure that if you've already got this 2-out rally thing going, might as well make sure you got the faster guy over there at second base, see if he can't come on in and extend this lead.
Now running at second base for Spanish Fork, number 17, Tanner Peterson.
And number 17, Tanner Peterson, will be the pinch runner over on second base, and there is a meeting out on the mound among the Lehigh players, and what looked like it was going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning, a chance for them to get back in the dugout and go attempt to put up 1 to tie it and 2 to win it here, has become a little bit tougher of a task, as with 2 outs here in the inning, a 2-out walk to Cowden, a single up the middle by Cy Nielsen, and then Dylan Lee with the big hit over the left fielder Dylan Coe's head, an error out there by the left fielder, but a well-hit ball that was able to drive in 2 runs, as both Cowden and Nielsen were able to come in and score and extend the Spanish Fork lead to 3 here in the 7th.
Yeah, the wind just carried that one, and definitely a boon there for the Dons, as Hayden Jacobson really had been quite impressive in this game coming in relief. This is the first real struggle that he's really had so far.
And a first pitch strike to the sophomore DH, Josh Dart. Dart with a big opportunity here. Runners on first and second and 2 outs, and a chance to build on a 3-run lead. 2 runs already crossing the inning. And he takes that on the back, and that is back-to-back hit batters by Hayden Jacobson. And the bases are now loaded here with 2 outs, and it has been a 2-out rally fest in today's game. Absolutely unbelievable.
I've never seen anything like this, folks. This is absolutely insane. This is everything that you don't usually see in baseball. Like, once you get to 2 outs, it's usually not like this. You get that 1 out, you get out of the inning, and it's done. But it's like all of the damage in this game is being done with 2 outs.
And that pitch is fouled off down the right-hand side by the senior left fielder, Carson Chappell. Yeah, occasionally you see a few hits with 2 outs, but rarely do you see 5, 6, 7 batters strung together with 2 outs. And this is the 3rd inning today where this has been the case. 5 runs for the Dons in the top of the 5th, all coming nobody on with 2 outs when that rally started. And again in the bottom of the 6th for Lehigh, nobody on and 2 outs, eventually scoring 4 runs as Chapel now falls behind 0-2.
And Chapel, one of the few that's kind of had a struggle day at the plate, striking out twice, popping up to the pitcher on that bunt.
And that pitch is outside. Runners on base, Dylan Lee on third, Dylan Hall on second, and Josh Dart on first. Both Hall and Dart reaching on hit by pitches. Dylan Lee with the error, reaching on the error by the left fielder Dylan Coe. And the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed by Carson Chapel, and that will end the inning here in the top of the 7th, but not before 2 runs come in to score for the Dons on 1 hit, 2 runners left on base, and a big couple runs for the Dons as they now lead 10-7 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. And we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's game, the Tony Basso Auto Group, Dickerson Automotive, Lance Wilson State Farm, Triple T Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Mikkel Christiansen Wise, Attorneys at Law, MVP Sports, and 2 Jack's Pizza. And as we head now to the bottom of the 7th, Tay Newman still on the mound, and 3 outs away from the Dons surviving for a 3rd consecutive elimination game.
Absolutely, they've done their part to stay in this game. Again, as we've been talking about, this has been one of the crazier ones that we've ever called. It's been just a 2-out barrage on both sides of things, and now you've got Newman, who doesn't normally get a lot of pitching appearances, and he's out there on the mound trying to close this one off for the Dons. And he struggled in this past half an inning. He took him a little bit to get that last out, so he's back on the mound and hoping to lock things down here for the Dons.
And a fastball up from Tay Newman to lead off the bottom of the 7th, and it is McKay Wall at the plate, the designated hitter for the Pioneers, taking a leadoff ball, or 2 quick leadoff balls here to bring the count to 2-0.
And already Newman's digging himself in a hole here in this at bat.
And a ground ball over to the Pintar at short, and it is booted over there, and that will be a leadoff base runner here for the Pioneers here in the bottom of the 7th. Big mistake over there by Pintar. Hope that doesn't come back to bite him.
Yeah, let's hope not. Man, that's one that usually Pintar is able to get a clean play on and send it on over to first and get an out. So kind of a bit of a unlucky break there here for the Dons to begin off the bottom of this inning.
Yeah, 3 outs away still here for the Dons, advancing to tomorrow where they would play Desert Hills in another elimination game at 1:30 here. We will be here doing that game again if the Dons are able to hold on here and get 3 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Tay Newman on the mound as we have a pinch hitter, Josh Walker, coming to the plate for the Lehigh Pioneers, number 27. And he takes outside for ball 1. Gentry Cox being subbed out after a 0-for-3 day.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that definitely had a rough time at the plate, so definitely bringing in Walker to get a fresh look.
And a strike there to Walker to bring the count even at 1-1. Both of these teams have to be tired at this point today. Not both physically and mentally as well, as they try to battle and get 3 more outs here to advance to tomorrow, as a nice breaking pitch there brings the count to 1-2 now on Walker. Newman doing a better job of getting ahead in this at-bat.
Yeah, much better approach here in this at-bat against Walker. Was down 2-0 to Wall, and this time he's instead out in front with this 1-2 count. And you got to wonder about the fatigue for the Pioneers as they went through a 9-inning crazy one in this past game against Orem, and so they played. Now this is their 16th inning of baseball today, and so they've got to be pretty tired out there, not just physically, but as you said, mentally as well.
And that is strike 3, looking for a big first out here in the bottom of the 7th. And the Dons are now 2 outs away from winning both elimination games today and surviving.
Golly, did Newman need that one? He needed that one for his confidence more than anything else, and he just grooves that one right in there, gets the looking strikeout. That's exactly what you need here.
And a strike one from Newman to the junior second baseman, Tyson Eager. Eager is 1 for 2 on the day. He also walked back in the fourth and singled to start off the big 2-out rally back in the sixth as he takes ball one up.
Yeah, Eager definitely has done his job for the Pioneers. He's getting that single, getting the walk. Like, he's been a big part of their rallies, and so this is a key at bat here for them to potentially get back in this one.
And a breaking ball in there for strike two brings the count to 1-2. And again, Newman pitching with so much more confidence in this inning than the last one. Only needing one out last inning, but coming in a tough situation, coming in a clean inning, having the team scoring 2 runs and kind of getting the momentum back a little in this game. And Newman working quickly and with momentum out there on the mound as he pitches that one low for ball 2 to bring the count to 2-2.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's in a different mental state. Just getting those few runs in the top half of the inning and being able to come in with, you know, a clean inning, as you were saying. He just looks refreshed and ready to go.
And the breaking pitch just misses as Newman wanted that one, and that will bring the count full at 3-2.
Dang, yeah, that one did not miss by much. You know, Newman was ringing for that one, hoping for it, but we'll see what he does here with the full count.
And that pitch is strike 3 looking, and that is a big call. That one was more of a ball than the last one, but I guess it evens out, and that is 2 outs now here as back-to-back strikeouts looking here in the bottom of the 7th, and the Dons are now an out away from finishing this one off. But remember, it has been hard to get that 3rd out here today.
Yeah, this is almost like, oh, now we're in our comfort zone here with 2 outs. Like, now we can go ahead and start ripping at it. But, man, to get those 2 big strikeouts for Newman, nice job here.
And a pitch low to the junior left fielder, Dylan Coe, who also singled back in the 6th to get that rally going. 1 for 3 on the day and had 2 hits in their previous game earlier this year, so has seen the ball well against Don's pitching as he fouls that one back to bring the count to 1-1.
Yeah, Dylan Coe, weirdly, like one of the most dangerous hitters in this lineup for the Dons for some reason. He definitely is. He's kind of representing the last hope here for the Pioneers. So let's see what he does here with this 1-1 count against Tay Newman.
And the fastball for strike 2. As the Dons are now 1 strike away from finishing off the Pioneers here. A 10-7 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. McKay Wall on first base, reaching on the Pintar error. As he flies that one out to right field, Cy Nielsen has a play on it. And he comes in and makes the catch, and the Dons will survive for another day. And a great job by Newman in relief, as what a back-and-forth affair this has been. The Dons holding on to win 10-7, and we will be back in a minute here on SF17 to break this one down.
Hi, welcome to 2 Jacks Pizza.
For the best pizza you'll ever taste and our world-famous cheese sticks, come to 2 Jacks Pizza on Main Street in Spanish Fork, or call us for a quick delivery. Are you hungry yet?
Come to Dickerson Automotive for all your car repair and maintenance needs. Now is a great time to make sure your car is ready for these cold winter months. We take the time to get to know you and your car to give you peace of mind. Dickerson Automotive, located way north on Main in Spanish Fork.
MVP Sports is the #1 source for sporting goods in Spanish Fork. Football, soccer, all the fall sports, we've got you covered. Check out our new custom t-shirt builder. Design at home and we'll build it for you. MVP Sports, 72 North Main in Spanish Fork.
The best time to check your furnace is before it fails, and you can rely on Triple T to do the job right. Our technicians are trained every year so you can sleep better at night, knowing your furnace is safe to operate. Call Triple T at 798-7711 to schedule your tune-up today.
Need a new car or truck? The Car Guys has the best selection of used vehicles at the best prices in Spanish Fork. The Car Guys know their automobiles to get you the best car for your needs and your budget. The Car Guys at 872 North Main in Spanish Fork.
Wild Mustangs. They're supposed to be one of the most gentle creatures in nature.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these. That's why more people save money by combining their home and auto with State Farm.
Call State Farm agent Lance Wilson today.
Nobody plans on getting in an accident, but if it does happen, you can rely on the expertise of Mike McKell to protect and fight for your rights. Specializing in personal injury law, Mike McKell is the attorney you need. Contact Mike at McKell, Christiansen, and Wise.
And welcome back on SF17 here, and it was quite the game. Elliot Sharps here with Andrew LaRose, and it was a game of two-out rallies. In the fifth inning, the Dons able to score 5 runs on a two-out rally. No runners on base, and they were able to get in 5, and Lehigh answered in the 6th with 4 runs of their own to kind of get back in the game, but the Dons able to hold them off.
Absolutely. One of the craziest games I've been a part of. Like, to see all of the two-out runs was absolutely phenomenal. Like, the fact that the Dons, I was worried for a little bit. I thought the Dons had a potential to maybe not win this one, but thankfully they were able to kind of squeak it out. They got a great game from Ty Sorenson.
Yeah, Sorenson, 5 strikeouts, 4 2/3 innings. Really impressive performance all around, and really gave them the start they needed. 2 big games today. Cy Nielsen pitching earlier today as they were able to knock off the Skyview Bobcats, and then again in this one this afternoon as they were able to knock off the Lehigh Pioneers and advance to a big game tomorrow against Desert Hills.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one. Again, everything from here on out is win or go home kind of deal here. So we're going to be back here again at 1:30, right? 1:30? We're going to be back here at 1:30 playing Desert Hills, and hopefully the Dons can be able to keep on going, keep on rolling here.
Yeah, tune in tomorrow. We'll be here at 1:30 at Brycehurst Field as they play the Desert Hills Thunder in their 4th consecutive elimination game. And when we interplay tomorrow, there will only be 6 teams remaining. So 2 big games tomorrow. If they win at 1:30, they'll play again at 7 in another tough matchup. We don't know who they'd be there, but first they got to take care of business against Desert Hills.
They absolutely do. It's going to be a fun one. Make sure that you're tuning in, folks. Like, we definitely want you to be tuning in, not just on SF17, but make sure to be getting your friends, your cousins, everybody out and being able to watch it on our YouTube channel, be able to watch these games live. Again, the next one is going to be at 1:30, so make sure that everyone is tuning in.
Yeah, 1:30 tomorrow against Desert Hills. We thank you for joining us. For Elliot Sharps, Andrew LaRose, and everyone on our fantastic Spanish Fork 17 crew, we thank you for joining us. And it's another Dons winner, 10-7 over the Lehigh Pioneers here on SF17.